what is going on, everybody? Your boy BLSG back at it again with another play-by-play, but this time we're going back to college football edition, as tonight we have the Ohio State Buckeyes, third-ranked team in the nation, going up to Madison, Wisconsin to take on the Wisconsin Badgers. Game is about to hopefully soon get underway, as we got off to a little bit of a late start, a little bit later than what I wanted to. I know I set it up for 7:15, started like 5 minutes later, but the game should hopefully soon start here. Eventually, as you see the players trotting out onto the field for both teams. But yeah, this should overall be a pretty good game. Got off to a late start, but it is what it is. Shout out to everyone that's already coming through. Hit the like button if you guys have not done so. Hit the subscribe button if you guys are new. And share the stream so we can bring more views up in the chat. As the game is underway and the kickoff has already started. And we already do have an early flag on the kicking team. So it will be on Wisconsin for a kick out of bounds on the kicker. So the Buckeyes will get this in great field position to start this game. As the Buckeyes will get the first half kickoff, meaning Wisconsin's going to get the ball to begin the second half. We get a first look here at Kyle McCord so far, what he has done this season. A completion percentage of 63.9%, 1,937 passing yards, 12 passing touchdowns, and 1 interception so far in the season for Kyle McCord. And the Buckeyes will start out on their own 35-yard line, looking to get off to a quick start here against the Wisconsin Badgers. McCord takes the snap, hands off to Henderson, and Henderson already running for 9 yards off the get-go. And it's great to have TreVeyon Henderson back out there on the field as he starts out with 9 yards on the carry, and it'll be a 2nd down and 1. See the Buckeyes offensive line, including Josh Simmons, Donovan Jackson, and Josh Fryer, as well as Matthew Jones, as well as the receiving group and the running back, including TreVeyon Henderson, Kate Stover, and Marvin Harrison Jr., and so much more. But here we go with the 2nd down and 1 here. McCord in shotgun takes a snap, fires in, just has to throw it away at that point. You got all that pressure coming up towards Kyle McCord, had no protection whatsoever at that point, and at that point just had to get it away, or else it would have been a sack. So Wisconsin here looking like they're going with a 3-4 type of defense with 3 defensive linemen and 4 linebackers. And then obviously you got 4 guys in the secondary for Wisconsin as well. Forget what concept Ohio State is going with on defense here, we actually don't even know what concept Ohio State is going with on defense because they haven't even started on defense yet. But here we go, 3rd down and 1 here for the Buckeyes. McCord with the QB sneak, and he should have it for the first down, and yes, he does. First down, Ohio State. So they go with a little bit of a Philadelphia Eagles quarterback sneak type of play, but it works either way. But the thing is, between the 2 quarterback sneaks, is that Kyle McCord did not have anybody behind him to push the pile. It's just how strong Kyle McCord is while just moving the football for him not being that mobile of a QB. Here we go. You see Marvin Harrison at the top of the screen. McCord once again shotgun. Takes the snap. McCord dancing. Fires down the left side. It is caught. And that's Julian Fleming making the catch early on inside the 40 and in Wisconsin territory. First down, Ohio State. And you got Julian Fleming out there, as I do believe that would be the wide receiver on the offense for Ohio State. And Julian Fleming able to make the play here for the Buckeyes early on. For a guy who has not gotten that much production all year with just 17 receptions and 171 yards on the year, averaging about 10 yards per reception. Here we go, 1st and 10. McCord hands it off on a jet sweep to Xavier Johnson. And Xavier Johnson still goes, gets about 5 yards. And it'll be a 2nd down and 5 here for Ohio State. Taking a look at the big shots here for both sides of the ball between Ohio State's offense and Wisconsin's defense. For Ohio State's offense is TreVeyon Henderson and Marvin Harrison Jr. And for Wisconsin's defense is C.J. Goetz and Hunter Wohler. So those are your big shots, or otherwise known as your key players for both sides of the ball between Ohio State's offense and Wisconsin's defense. Here we go, the 2nd and 5 here for Ohio State from the Wisconsin 35 as McCord takes a snap, hands it off to Henderson. Henderson bouncing to the outside, and he will get stuffed on the play by number 23 for this Wisconsin defense. Overall, though, it's great to have TreVeyon Henderson back in the lineup because we missed his running game for like the past couple weeks. So it's great to have Travion Henderson back in the lineup, and it's great to have him up and running again. See Ryan Day on the sideline. Ohio State's rush offense has also been pretty good. Even without Travion Henderson, other players have managed to step up in a way, as Kyle McCord now has an empty backfield after having Travion Henderson in the back. Now Kyle McCord going back into shotgun. McCord standing at the 38. McCord takes a snap. McCord needs time in the pocket. Fires on the right side, and it's incomplete. And that was just a miscommunication right there between Kyle McCord and Marvin Harrison Jr., the connection between the two players that did go to St. Joseph's Prep for high school. And turns out that was just a miscommunication right there. Kyle McCord completely missed the pass, but Marvin Harrison completely missed the route. Thought it was a little bit of a curl route, but turns out that he missed it by a little bit. He was probably supposed to go up a little bit further. I'm not sure what the problem was, though. But Ohio State going for it on fourth down here. 57.1% complete percentage on converting a fourth down here. And we do have a timeout being called, it looks like. It looks like it's going to be a timeout here by the Buckeyes. They want to go ahead and strategize here on how they convert this fourth down and 3, it looks like. And with 11:53 left to go in the first, Ohio State looking for a fourth down conversion on a 4th and short, specifically a 4th and 3. Guys, we'll get to the chat after this drive here. Again, I apologize for getting off to the late start, but, we just had to keep rolling on, and I ignored the chat from the beginning, but we'll get to it after the first drive. With 11:53 left to go in the first quarter, Buckeyes are still going for this. Can they pick up a 4th down and 3? They've converted 57.1% of their 4th downs all year. Can this be another one to add to the book? McCord with Henderson in the backfield. McCord takes a snap. Here comes Wisconsin. McCord's got to get away and loses the ball. It's not going to matter what the result is on who picks it up. It'll be picked up by Wisconsin, but it wasn't going to matter since Kyle McCord fumbled the football. And Wisconsin is going to have the ball, setting up the true freshman Braden Locke, I do believe, in Wisconsin territory, if not that deep in their own territory, to start out their first drive. Rough start for the Buckeyes right there. Let's see how their defense can respond after the commercial breaks. Let's get to the chat here before the next drive begins. We only have 2 people in here, making my life easy. MC being the first one on in here. What's going on, MC? Appreciate you for coming through. Said, let's go Buckeyes. You already know it is MC. Hit the like button if you have not done so. I appreciate you for coming through. And also we got my boy Jadis Young in the chat. What's going on, Jadis? Appreciate you for coming through as well. First time in a while since you've been back in the chat, Jadis, so I appreciate you for coming back into the chat. Hit the like button if you have not done so, Jason. I appreciate you for coming through as well. Guys, let's go ahead and share this out. Share this out on any social media platform that you have. Yeah, but that was not a great start for Ohio State right there. I mean, they were marching down the field for a little bit, and then they just ended up having the drive get stopped. So that was not great right there for Ohio State. They got to pick things up here. It could be a little bit hard to score on this Wisconsin defense, but keep in mind, Wisconsin's got the freshman Braden Locke coming into play. And if you guys flash back to my schedule prediction video for Ohio State, I had this as a potential trap game. I did have this as a trap game going into Madison. I thought we were going to be facing Tanner Mordecai, but turns out we're going to be facing the true freshman Braden Locke. So we'll obviously be able to get to see this guy right here over to my left, your guys' right, in Braylon Allen for that Wisconsin offense. You'll see how they do. I mean, Wisconsin looked pretty good against Illinois last week, but again, Illinois is Illinois. I mean, they're not really the best team in the nation. Now, when it comes to Iowa, they're not the best team in the nation, but their defense is probably one of the best in the Big Ten. And honestly, they were able to keep Wisconsin out of the end zone. So honestly, when you look at it, and not to mention, Iowa only allowed 6 points in terms of their defense. And they didn't even have Cade McNamara. They had a man by the name of Deacon Hill starting for them. And they were relying on their run game, too. So yeah, based on what Braden Locke's done in his first 2 starts as a Wisconsin Badger, basically the first 2 appearances of Braden Locke as a Wisconsin Badger, he's done okay. I mean, he didn't do the best against Iowa, but he did pretty good against Illinois. As here we go, first drive here for Wisconsin as Braden Locke hands it off to Braylon Allen, and Braylon Allen's going to get about, I'd say, 2 to 3 yards on the first carry as we get a look at the true freshman Braden Locke. Came in as a 3-star recruit in the 2022 class and was a transfer from Mississippi State this offseason. Last game against Illinois, the man went 21 of 41 for, I think it was like 240-some yards and then like 2 touchdowns. So here we go. Here comes the true freshman Braden Locke as he takes the high snap, hands it off to Braylon Allen, who's pushing the pile. Ball is loose, and Ohio State's got it. Fumble on the play. Braylon Allen bobbles up the football, coughs it up, and Ohio State's defense already starting this off strong. Davison Igbinison picking up the football here for the Buckeyes. So great start already for this Ohio State defense. After what looked like was going to be a first down, turns out a fumble by Braylon Allen, one of the top running backs in the nation, and picked up by Davison Igbinison, who finally makes a play for this Ohio State defense after basically he's been struggling all year long. And I think it was Steele Chambers who stripped it on the play for Ohio State's defense. So Ohio State immediately getting the ball right back, but it's time for Ohio State to take advantage of this opportunity. MC saying what's up to Jadis. MC say, yeah, buddy, go Buckeyes. You already know it is MC. Here we go. 1st and 10 for Ohio State from their own 44. McCord hands it off to Henderson. Henderson going over the pile of bodies, and he'll gain about 6 yards on the first play of the drive. Clock continuing to wind down. 2nd and 4 coming up here for Ohio State. Second and 5, rather. Turns out he's short of a 2nd and 4. Here we go. McCord with Henderson in the backfield. Hands it off to Henderson. Henderson runs. He got close to the first. Did he get it, though? He might be a couple inches short. And yes, he is. But there are extra blockers on the play. But here we go. 3rd down and 1 here for the Buckeyes. McCord takes a snap. McCord fires it, completes it to Henderson. Henderson running down the sideline. Inside the 20 is Travion Henderson. And he's down at about the 17. 1st and 10, Ohio State. And a little out route here for Travion Henderson. Going down the sideline, making it look like child's play on here on 3rd and 1. What Wisconsin thought was going to be a running play, and Ohio State fooled everybody by going with the pass play out to Travion Henderson on a little bit of an out route, picking up that 1st down, and Ohio State in great field position here at the Wisconsin 17. McCord with Henderson in the backfield, back in shotgun. McCord takes a snap. McCord dancing, firing down the right sideline to the end zone. It is incomplete. Number 2 for Wisconsin's defense, breaking it up. That is Hallman for Wisconsin. 2nd down and 10 here coming up for the Buckeyes. And it looked like Marvin Harrison Jr. had a good chance, but Hallman just barely gets enough of the football to break it up against one of the top wide receivers in the nation in Marvin Harrison Jr. And we're talking Richard Hallman, a sophomore at 5'10", 180 pounds, out of Miami, Florida, making the play for the Wisconsin secondary. 2nd and 10 coming up from the Wisconsin 17 for the Buckeyes. McCord with Xavier Johnson in motion, hands it off on a jet sweep. Johnson needing to find the corner and runs around the corner and gets about, I'd say 3 or 4 yards, maybe 5 if he got lucky, but it'll be a 3rd down long coming here for Ohio State. Solid start to the drive here for the Buckeyes, looking to come away with points here. So he actually did get 5 yards on the play. 3rd down and 5 coming up here for the Buckeyes. This ball is at about the 11-yard line of Wisconsin. What will Ohio State do here? Can they pick up the 1st down against this tough Wisconsin defense? McCord takes a snap, hands it off. It's Trey Anum, and Trey Anum, he doesn't even get close. At least I don't think he did. And it will be a 4th down here. And Ohio State's defense should head off the field. And they should just take the points, and that's exactly what they're going to do. On a 4th and 2, they're just going to take points here and get on the board. At least that's what they hope to do. Jaden Fielding coming on the field as a sophomore this year. 9 made field goals out of 10 field goal attempts. The kick for Jaden Fielding is up, and the kick is good from 27 yards out to get Ohio State on the board and to give them a 3-0 lead here in Madison against the Wisconsin Badgers. It's an okay start for Ohio State, but you got to come away with 7 in these big-time moments when it matters. When it matters most, you need to come away with 7, not 3. Especially if Braden Locke gets going, because if he does what he did against Illinois, and if he can transfer that over to this game, you cannot let him get red hot. You just can't do it. NC said, let's go Buckeyes. You already know what it is. Don't like the fact that we came away with 3 points, though. I would have preferred 7 right there. I would have preferred 7 right there, but you know what? I'll take the fact that we're on the board. We got to pressure the freshman quarterback in Braden Locke. Do not let him get locked in. Do not. He cannot be locking in. He cannot get all locked in and dialed in. You do that, you got a problem. And the stat line, by the way, from Braden Locke against the Illinois Fighting Illini was 21 for 41, 240 yards and 2 touchdowns. So, yeah, something like that. I said something like that before. But either way, whether if he's a freshman or not, you got to get pressure on this guy. The way he looked in that Illinois game, if he transfers it over to here, Ohio State's defense is going to have a problem. But if Braden Locke does what he did against Iowa and threw an interception or just had a turnover created, if that happens, though, then that's what we're looking for. We're looking for pressure on Braden Locke. We're looking for pressure on Braylon Allen. We're looking for pressure on these receivers. And we're looking to score touchdowns. It's time to go out and make a statement on the next drive. But for now, we got some business to take care of with this defense. Also, guys, I know that the Sixers are playing 2 for Philadelphia, so I had to go ahead and rock the Sixers Cup. Hopefully the Sixers win as well, ladies and gents. As you got to look at Jim Knowles up towards one of the booth areas. And then in terms of the 2022 season, allowed the 24th most points per game allowed and the 13th most yards allowed. And Jim Knowles has honestly done a great job with this Ohio State defense this year. As again, if you guys did not hear already, Ohio State is only allowing 10 points per game so far this season. So hopefully they keep it up here. Ohio State has really done a great job at shutting down the opposing team's offenses. And a lot of that goes to the credit of Jim Knowles. But here we go with the kick all the way down from, I do believe that was once again Jaden Fielding. And this will go into the end zone for a touchback, and Wisconsin will start from their own 25. This season for Ohio State's defense, points per game, 10 points allowed, which is 3rd in college football. Completion percentage, 51.5%, 1st in college football. Passing yards per game, 159.6, 4th in college football. Yards per game, 260.1, 4th in college football. 40-plus yard plays, 0, tied for 1st in college football. One of 3 teams to not allow a 40-plus yard play goes to Ohio State. But here we go with Wisconsin starting from their own 25. And Braden Locke hands it off to Braylon Allen, who turns nothing into something. Ball is loose again. Who's got the ball? Braylon Allen coughs it up again. Who's got it? It looks like it is going to stay with Wisconsin. Did he cough up the football? That was Jordan making the play. I'm not saying his last name, otherwise we're going to have to add a pause in there. But Jordan able to make a play for this Ohio State defense. But Braylon Allen with the quick reaction to go ahead and get the ball back here. 2nd down and 6. Braden Locke in shotgun. Locke takes the snap. Locke fires down the left sideline, and that is incomplete. If the safety would have got there, that would have almost been an interception right there by Lathan Ransom. And that's going to be a holding on the defense. Oh, my goodness. It's going to be a holding on Davison Igbinison. It's the same dude that I always get so mad at. I always get mad at this dude at least one time a week. It's the same dude. Davison Igbinison. It's the same guy. It's the same guy every week. He makes at least one bad play. Not to yell at him for it. 1st and 10 here now for Wisconsin. They hand it off again to the star-studded running back Braylon Allen, and he is not going anywhere on that Ohio State defense. They completely denied it all. Now the big shots here for Ohio State's defense against Wisconsin's offense. For Ohio State's defense is Tyleik Williams and Denzel Burke. For Wisconsin's offense is Braden Allen, and I think it was Will Pauling. I'm not sure if I saw that right because the TV is muted. As Braden Locke fires one down the left sideline, and it is incomplete. So the wide receiver, number 13 here for Wisconsin. And it'll be a 3rd down long here coming up for the Badgers. What will happen here on this 3rd down and 7? What will the freshman quarterback do in Braden Locke? From the 41.5-yard line, Braden Locke in shotgun. Locke takes the snap. Locke fires down the right side, and it's batted down. Not even behind the line of scrimmage, and Tyleik Williams is able to make the play for this Ohio State defensive line. And once again, they will force Wisconsin to get off the field. Big play right there by Tyleik Williams. You love to see it. He's been a role player ever since. He's been more of a depth piece ever since he got here, and now he's stepping up in a big way with all the reps that he's now getting as a starter on this Ohio State D-line. And upon it down, a flag is going to be thrown. Ballard's going to try to return it. Jaden Ballard, number 9, it will end up inside the 20 of Ohio State. But what is the flag? Would be Penn State, which was also someone need to be everyone from here on out. Facts. I'm not sure if it's going to be possible, though, because even if we do go ahead and beat Wisconsin tonight, we're guaranteed to go undefeated for the next, I think it's 2-3 games. I think it's the next 3 games. We should be able to win all 3 of them to be guaranteed to go ahead and go into Ann Arbor and be undefeated against the team up north. And this will be a penalty against the kicking team. It'll be an illegal formation against Wisconsin. And I don't think they've elected to re-kick, so Ohio State's going to make that as a 5-yard penalty and take it 5 more yards up the field. Let's see if Kyle McCord can bounce back on this drive here, starting out 2 for 5 for 44 yards. Braden Locke has yet to complete a pass so far. He's been relying on Braylon Allen a lot on the first 2 drives for Wisconsin. Braden Locke starting out 0 for 2. Kyle McCord 2 for 5 so far. Gonna need Kyle McCord to step up when it matters most. That's our QB1 right there. And keep in mind, guys, no Devin Brown for this game to be a decoy in Ohio State's offense. So with that being the case, it is going to be Tristan Gebbia subbing in for Ohio State's quarterback position, and they might use him as a decoy. I don't know if that's going to be the case, but this man has not seen the field yet in terms of an actual game. He has yet to see the field, so could be a little bit rusty. So I'm not sure if he's going to be a decoy or if he's going to just be the backup quarterback in case if Kyle McCord gets hurt. I'm not sure how they're going to do it because they love Devin Brown in that offense as a decoy. I'm not sure how they're going to use Tristan Gebbia. We need to beat the team on North especially, and, of course, all the other teams. The thing is, though, and here's what I've been hearing about Team Up North. Team Up North, they have a great running game of Blake Corum and Donovan Edwards. So they do have a nice little 1-2 punch. But their quarterback, J.J. McCarthy, has not made the best throws despite what his stats say. His stats are saying a 78.1% completion percentage the last time I looked. But that's not because of him. A good amount of the plays. They're all a lot of receiver highlights. And there's a lot of better decisions that he can make. And against a team like Ohio State's defense is not going to make it that easy against J.J. McCarthy. So, I mean, there's a chance, but, I mean, they're going to really rely on that run game because that is what killed Ohio State last year. They could not stop the running game of Blake Corum and especially Donovan Edwards. Because that 1-2 punch is absolutely lethal. And it's very hard to stop. Here we go. Ohio State's offense back on the field. They are starting at their own 24-yard line after the 5-yard penalty on Wisconsin for the illegal formation. McCord back in shotgun, fires down the right side. It's caught by Fleming. That is a receiver highlight catch, but Fleming is able to make that catch for a few yards. And at least Ohio State will be moving the ball down the field. And Julian Fleming looks like he got a little banged up on the play. Going to the sideline right now is the true senior for Ohio State, and coming in is the true freshman in Carnell Tate. He's lined up on the left side of Ohio State's O-line. McCord back in shotgun with Henderson in the backfield. He hands it off to Henderson. Henderson is going absolutely nowhere. And why are we running the ball on a 2nd down and 5? Wisconsin's going to figure it out easily, and we know it. What are we doing here, Ryan Day? Come on. Trayvon Henderson's not finding a hole around that. Got to be better. Can't make it so predictable. Let's go. Sounds like when Brian Johnson's making predictable plays. Like, come on, Ryan Day, let's get creative here. Let's go. Get creative. Don't make it so obvious. All right, Kyle McCord now going with an empty backfield, back in shotgun, though. McCord takes the snap. McCord dancing, fires down the right sideline. It is incomplete. Not even close to anybody. McCord got hit as he was on the ground getting right back up. And once again, this is going to have to be another punt by Ohio State. Again, the two players that went to St. Joseph's Prep cannot seem to get on the same page right now between Kyle McCord and Marvin Harrison Jr. They need to start getting on the same page because we're not winning if those two cannot start making plays for this team. They need to start doing something, and they got to start making it happen real quick. Because this Wisconsin team is not going to go easy. Here we go. Here's the pump by Jesse Mirko from about the 19 was where he stood. And they are going to return it. Number 13 running it all the way up, still running, still going. And down at about the 36 goes number 13 for Wisconsin. And this just gave Wisconsin a little bit of momentum going into the next drive. But can the true freshman Braden Locke take advantage of the field position? As this was just a lot of missed tackles. First, Jaden Ballard. Then number 6, Sonny Styles. Then he keeps on running forever. And then G. Scott couldn't even bring him down. Tommy Eichenberg had to help him out, and so did Kate Stover. Here we go. Can Braden Locke take advantage of this great field position that Wisconsin has? Back in shotgun. Locke takes a snap. Locke panicking in the pocket. Just fires it down the left sideline, incomplete. And there's no flag on that one, as Davison McBennison never had his hands on the intended receiver. So it'll be a 2nd down and 10 here for Wisconsin. And Davison McBennison's like, no. You better keep that. You better be consistent, Davison McBennison, because if you're going to do the trash talk like that, you better be consistent tonight. As Braden Locke fires it down the right side, it's going to be caught by, I think it's number 11 for Wisconsin. It'll be a 3rd down coming up here for Wisconsin's offense. First 4 games for Braylon Allen, 13 carries, 34.7% of the team's carries, and 41.5 offensive snaps. And ever since that point, it's just been a lot more production from Braylon Allen. And my goodness, the refs should have called one right there as a neutral zone infraction on Ohio State's defense, but unfortunately they did not. But here we go from the Wisconsin 29. As we do have a flag on the play. And it is a delay of game against Wisconsin. So they literally did miss that. Yeah, Braden Locke never snapped it in time. Here we go, 3rd and 10. Locke back to pass. Fires down the middle of the field, incomplete. And yet at least 4 Buckeye jerseys in the area to make this a 4th down and 10 here for the Wisconsin offense. But what will Luke Fickell do for this Wisconsin offense here? Tried to fire down the middle of the field, and the receiver just missed it over his head. Latham Ransom was ready to make the tackle too, but that was not necessary. And of course, they do not take full advantage. And of course, Braden Locke does not take full advantage of the field position given to him from the Wisconsin special teams. But here we go with the 54-yard try, and this is not even close. Way off the mark, way off to the left from 54 yards out for Wisconsin's kicker. And it will stay 3-0 in favor of Ohio State with about 3.5 minutes left to go here in the first quarter. Sergeant, what's going on, my guy? Appreciate you for coming through. Say what up, my guy. Had to watch the Tyson Fury fight. Hey, it's all good, Sergeant. Appreciate you for coming through and stopping through, my guy. Hit the like button if you have not done so. Appreciate you for coming through. Surprised that you're not watching the 76ers game. Hey, whenever I can get an opportunity to do an Ohio State game, which is as long as it's not a 12 o'clock game for the most part, unless if it is a game that's like in my state or includes a team in my state, or is a 12 o'clock game or a 3:30 game, and if I'm working on a Saturday, as long as it's not one of those scenarios, I'm able to do an Ohio State game, and that's what I'm doing here tonight. So I had to go ahead and rock out with my Buckeyes for the 2nd consecutive week in a row. So yeah, I had to do that, Sergeant. I'll get back with the Sixers probably. I'm not sure if I'll do it tomorrow because a lot of football will be on, and I'm not sure how many people will tune in. But I might go ahead and wait until the game after the next game tomorrow night to once again get back to the Sixers. I will get back to it, though. I promise, though. Sergeant, that was last night. It's all about the Buckeyes now. Yeah, absolutely. I dropped in last night. Hey, I appreciate you though, Sergeant. I appreciate you. You gotta do all OSU games and go Eagles. I'll try to get to as many as I can, MC. It's not fully guaranteed that I'm gonna get to every single one. It's not guaranteed. It wasn't guaranteed the first couple weeks of the season. And I appreciate you, Sergeant. That's why you're one of my good subscribers, my guy. I appreciate you. Appreciate you for supporting, Sergeant. I mean, the first Ohio State game that I did was against Notre Dame. That was in week 4, 7:30 game. Ohio State got the win. Then I went ahead, did the game last week between Ohio State and Penn State. Got the win there. Now tonight, it's unknown. Here we go. 4 targets for Marvin Harrison Jr. so far, no receptions. McCord in shotgun, fires down the right sideline, looking for Fleming, and it's incomplete. And Fleming was in double coverage that time for literally no reason. This is going to be a 2nd and 10 here coming up. And Fleming thought he had his man beat. This was one that Fleming should have caught. If I'm being honest, that was one that Fleming had a chance to get and put Ohio State in great field position. Once again, they're checking on those knees of Julian Fleming. So once again, the true freshman Carnell Tate is out on the field as McCord hands it off to Trayvon Henderson. Henderson looking for blocks, gets a good amount of the yardage, but it'll be a 3rd down long coming up here for Ohio State. Third and 6 coming up here for the Buckeyes. Trayvon Henderson as a junior this season, 50 carries for 319 yards. And Fleming is feeling that pain on the sideline, but McCord here on 3rd down and 6, fires down the right sideline and is caught by the junior, or the sophomore rather, I should say, Marvin Harrison Jr. 1st down Ohio State, and the first connection tonight between the two former fellows that went to St. Joseph Prep. Great connection right there. The 5th target between Marvin Harrison Jr. and Kyle McCord, and they finally get one to go that time. As the first quarter is starting to wind down with under 2 minutes and 20 seconds left to go in the first. And somebody moved here between one of the linemen here between Ohio State and Wisconsin. And it'll be an offsides here against the defense. And Ohio State will be advancing the ball 5 yards. I mean, number 92 never even gave Carson Hinsman a chance to snap the ball. Carson Hinsman being Ohio State's center this year, and their newest center to the team. But here we go. Kyle McCord with an empty backfield, but back in shotgun. McCord takes a snap. McCord fires down the right side. It is incomplete. And this was one that Trayvon Henderson should have had easily. That was one that Trayvon Henderson so should have had. It was right there in the bucket. And it was just a little bit out of reach, but that was one that Trayvon Henderson should have been able to catch right there. Now it goes to a 3rd down situation. You can tell that Kyle McCord is not happy by that result. Right after this drive, he's going to have a little talk with some of the receivers here. But here we go. That's not important right now. We've got to go on to the next play. 2nd and 5. McCord hands it off to Henderson. And Henderson going to pick up some yardage. Did he get enough for the 1st down? Did he get enough for the 1st? No, he did not. He's going to come up a little bit short. It's going to be a 3rd down and 1 here for Ohio State. What do the Buckeyes call here? Will they run the ball or will they throw the ball? Marvin Harrison Jr. on the sideline. What will they do here with a minute 17 left to go? They have Caden Curry in to be an eligible blocker. And I cannot tell what in the world is going on, but all I know is that Ryan Day is going absolutely bonkers on the sideline. It'll be a 3rd down and 6 here for Ohio State. I would assume it's a pass play, but you never know with Ryan Day being the head coach. I'm not sure why Ryan Day is still fussing. Like, what is going on? So I think it was that the play clock was just never set, as it was a running play clock that went all the way down to 0. So the play clock was never set for the snap to get going. So Ohio State's offense will trot back out on the field, and they will put it at the previous spot before it went to a 3rd down and 6. For literally no reason, it went to a 3rd down and 6. I do not know why that was the case. But here we go with a 3rd down and 1. 3rd and 1 here for the Buckeyes. McCord takes a snap, hands off to Henderson. Henderson is stuffed behind the 15-yard line. That is Thompson Jr. making the play here for this Wisconsin defense. And a flag is coming in. This could be a targeting here on Thompson. What will it be? And we actually have taunting against the defense. And it'll be an automatic 1st down here for Ohio State. Got unsportsmanlike conduct on number 94 for Wisconsin. And I don't even know what he did. Oh, he went to stare down Travion Henderson. Like, dude, back up. Come on, dude. Back off of my guy. Like, come on. Stay away from my running back. Here we go. We'll have a 1st and goal here for Ohio State. McCord takes the snap. Fakes it to Henderson. McCord rolling out to the right. Fires towards the end zone. And that is intercepted. And that was a terrible decision by Kyle McCord. That man should just threw it away. What kind of pass was that from Kyle McCord? That was terrible. My goodness, Kyle. What on earth was that? Try to get it to the true freshman, Carnell Tate. And yep, 1 foot is inbounds for Wisconsin. That is a touchback here. And Wisconsin will start at what I do believe is the 20-yard line. But that's a terrible decision by Kyle McCord. What on earth is he even thinking at throwing it right there when you got number 14 in the area in Zachman for this Wisconsin defense? What on earth is going on? McCord, you got to be better than that. You need to be better than that. You're the guy that's leading our team down the field. Like, let's go. And I don't know what they're looking at here. It's a clear interception. He drags 1 foot. You drag 1 foot, it's an interception and it counts. Yeah, there's no way they can overturn this call. Like, what could they challenge here? And he's got the right foot down too. Even if the left foot was out of bounds, he got the right foot down no matter what. And there'll be a 1st down, Wisconsin. And they confirm it to be a touchback and a 1st down here for Wisconsin here. That's the first interception for Kyle McCord in the last 204 pass attempts. And that's just the second interception all year for Kyle McCord. But the true freshman here, Braden Locke, set to go from the 20. Locke takes the snap, hands it off to Braylon Allen, and Braylon Allen is going to get about 3 yards on the play. It'll be about a 2nd down and 7 here coming up for Wisconsin. And the clock will just wind down. Not sure if they're going to run another play or not. But I would not be surprised if they wouldn't. And that's what it's looking like here. McCord's going to have to get locked in for his next drive for when the time comes for him to get back on the field. And that will take us to the end of the first quarter, where Ohio State, off to a slow start with their offense, their defense has really done a nice job. But Ohio State only up 3-0 over the Wisconsin Badgers as we head to the second quarter with Ohio State up by 3. I said this was going to be a trap game, and it's looking like it could be a close game. I don't know how it's going to turn out. It might be a close game, to be completely honest. Kyle McCord, you need to be better than that, though. That decision-making right there to go to Carnell Tate towards the side of the end zone for a touchback, it's unacceptable. Can't do it. It's not like you're Caleb Williams, Bo Nix, Drake May, or any of the elite quarterbacks. Even I'll throw in Austin Reed of Western Kentucky. I'll even throw him into the conversation. You just cannot afford to miss those throws, Kyle. You got to do a better job than that. Rough way to end the quarter, though, guys. That was a rough way to end the quarter with an interception by Kyle McCord. Hopefully this defense can make a play, and hopefully Kyle McCord can get back on the field and get back to being locked in, because he needs to lock in ASAP. Because the defense cannot hold on forever. They're going to get gassed. They need a lot of rest, and so far, Ohio State's not giving them that right now. The only time they did was for one drive, which was where they went ahead and kicked the field goal. That's the only time they went ahead and gave their defense some time for some rest. But when Kyle McCord gets back on the field, he's got to be better. Got to be much more efficient. Here we go. Second quarter is about to get started here. So far for the running back, Braylon Allen, 5 carries for 19 yards, averaging 4 yards a carry, but 2 fumbles tonight so far. One of them he lost. And he only got 3 yards on his recent carry. So here we go with the 2nd down 7 to start the quarter. Braden Locke in shotgun. Takes the snap, fires down the middle of the field, and it's incomplete. Sonny Styles, I do believe, was in there with the coverage. Makes a great play in the middle of the field to not allow the intended receiver for Wisconsin to go ahead and go up and get the ball. He was a part of it, and so was Steele Chambers. But it's all about the pressure from that Ohio State defensive line getting to Braden Locke. Here we go, the 3rd down and 7. Can the true freshman pick one up here from the Badgers? From the 23, Locke takes a snap. Locke fires down the left side. It's incomplete. And the intended receiver, again, could not come down with that. That one is on the receiver, but I do believe Sonny Styles was there to make the play yet again. And once again, Ohio State's defense goes ahead and allows Wisconsin to punt yet again and does not allow them to succeed. And yes, Sonny Styles was there in coverage. He actually did get burned for a little bit. That should have been a catch right there by number 6, and that should have been a 1st down. Ohio State's defense is just bailing them out right now. And it is absolutely ridiculous that this is happening. As the punt is going all the way back, it will go out of play. And they'll move it up a couple yards. They'll move it up to about the 48-yard line after where it went out. But can Ohio State's offense get going, and can they respond? One reception out of 5 targets for Marvin Harrison Jr. for 35 yards. What will happen here on this drive? Can the St. Joseph's Prep connection get going between Kyle McCord and Marvin Harrison Jr.? Kyle McCord with Travion Henderson in the backfield, starting at the 48, hands it off to Henderson. And Henderson with a burst up the middle gives Ohio State a 1st down. And a 1st down to begin the drive here for the Buckeyes. Credit to this offensive line here for giving Travion Henderson a hole, especially to Donovan Jackson in the center, Carson Hinsman, for giving Travion Henderson the hole that he needs to pick up a 1st down here for Ohio State. That's his 9th carry of the night for 38 yards. And Ohio State looking to march down the field. What will they do here? On 1st and 10. Once again, Henderson in the backfield and McCord in shotgun. Now Xavier Johnson comes back. 2 running backs in the backfield. McCord takes a snap. Fakes it to Johnson and sends it out to Henderson. Henderson trying to get past the line of scrimmage. Might have gotten a yard. But no matter what, though, it'll be a 2nd down and long here for Ohio State. And that'll be Hunter Wohler making the play, averaging 10 tackles per game, which is 2nd in the Big Ten through 8 weeks. And the leader is currently Jay Higgins at Iowa right now in terms of most tackles in the Big Ten. McCord now under center this time behind Carson Hinsman. McCord going on play action, though. McCord setting it up, fires. It's caught by Travion Henderson. And Henderson putting the helmet down low. And he's close to the 1st down. He does not have it. He's going to be a couple inches short. And what will they do here with Kyle McCord in the offense? Will they run it or throw it? 6 for 13 so far for Kyle McCord for 93 passing yards. What will Kyle McCord do here on this play? They will quarterback sneak it with Kyle McCord. And Kyle McCord showing some mobility out there with these quarterback sneaks. And once again, going with the Philadelphia Eagles style of the quarterback sneak, it is another 1st down for the Buckeyes. Here we go, 1st and 10 from just outside the 30 here of Wisconsin's territory. Kyle McCord in shotgun. McCord takes a snap. McCord dancing, fires down the middle of the field. It's caught by Marvin Harrison Jr. Did he get to the 1st down marker? Actually, no. Rather, that is the backup tight end in G. Scott. and he does get to the first down marker, so that is the first down for Ohio State. Great route here by G. Scott, but a great decision right there by Colin McCord to throw to the backup tight end's way and pick up the first down. And Ohio State continuing to march down the field. Can they come away with 6, though, instead of 3? McCord lining up under center. McCord takes a snap, hands it off to Chip Trayanum, and Trayanum getting a gain of about 4.5, maybe 5 yards. And it will be a second down and long for Ohio State, but it should be about a second down and 5. Rather, second down and 6, I should say. Under 11 minutes left to go in the half. Ohio State looking to respond with 6 instead of 3. Can they do it on this drive? McCord in shotgun with Henderson in the backfield. McCord takes a snap. McCord dancing, fires down the left side. Caught by Marvin Harrison Jr. And Marvin Harrison Jr. is in. Touchdown, Ohio State. And Ohio State will increase their lead here over Wisconsin. And they can potentially make it a 10-0 lead here as Marvin Harrison Jr. finds the connection with his QB, just like they did at St. Joseph's Prep. And Marvin Harrison Jr. finds the end zone, manages to put 6 on the board, and Ohio State is up by 2 scores here over Wisconsin, potentially 10-0 coming up, with the extra point coming here from Jaden Fielding. Kick for Jaden Fielding is up, and the kick is good. So Ohio State, with that touchdown by Marvin Harrison Jr. and the extra point by Jaden Fielding, will go ahead and give Ohio State a 10-0 lead over the Badgers. Great response right there by Ohio State to get their offense going, and way to go ahead and get 7 points instead of 3. That's much more like Ohio State's offense right there. That is much more like it. That's how you respond right there. When you have an opportunity to go out there and score, go out and get 7 points, not 3. Because I'll tell you one thing. Field goals are not going to win you this game against Wisconsin. I don't care if it's Tanner Mordecai or Braden Locken at quarterback. You want to win games with 7 points, not 3 points. Whether if your team is ranked or not. Yeah, guys, that's it. That's how we play Ohio State football right there. 10-0 over the Badgers. Gotta love it. And that's more like the connection we are used to seeing between Kyle McCord and Marvin Harrison Jr. Just like they did at St. Joseph's Prep back in Philly, back in their high school days. They do it here in college just like they did back in high school. Gotta love it. Especially when they were struggling to start out the game, when Marvin Harrison Jr. was targeted 5 times but caught 0 receptions. Now up to this point, he's got 2 receptions out of 7 targets, I think. If not that, 2 receptions out of 6 targets. Another look at the touchdown here. And Marvin Harrison Jr., as you see, the DB is not even close to Marvin Harrison Jr., and you got the blockers out in front. And you got Marvin Harrison Jr. making that look like child's play on the great pass from Kyle McCord. And you have him getting lifted up by the center, Carson Hinsman. as he is able to put the Buckeyes on top 10-0 over the Badgers. But can Wisconsin find a way to respond against this Ohio State defense? We will find out as the kick goes all the way down, and it'll be at about the 1, and this is returnable here for the Badgers. Here they go with 13 going down the sideline, and he'll get across the 25 and out at about the 26. And coming back out onto the field for Wisconsin is the Badgers offense led by their freshman quarterback, Braden Locke. Fourth straight game with a TD reception for Marvin Harrison Jr., which is the longest streak in his career. As a junior this year, actually. I thought he was a sophomore. He's a junior, actually. Because I forgot he was a freshman when he had to sit behind Chris Olave, Garrett Wilson, and Jackson Smith-Njigba when they were all back at Ohio State. And Braden Locke trying to get away from pressure, and does, as Lathan Ransom almost came in on the blitz for the sack. And at that point, Braden Locke just had to go ahead and throw that away. Good pressure, though, by Lathan Ransom. Just barely missed the sack. And nobody guards him. He's left wide open. He totally did not get enough of him, though. And then JT Tuimoloau was coming straight after him, trying to come for the sack on the second attempt. But Lathan Ransom with good pressure right there, despite not getting the sack, which should have been a sack right there if he would have had more of his body into it instead of hands. But here we go, 2nd and 10. Locke takes the snap. Locke dumps it off to the backup running back, it looks like. And the backup running back, number 34, coming out of the backfield in Acker, getting a few yards, and it'll be a 3rd down coming up here for Wisconsin. Looks like number 7, Jordan, not going to say his last name. Otherwise, we're going to need to get a little pause action going because of how his last name is said. It looks like he was the one able to make the tackle. Here we go for Wisconsin from their own 30-yard line. Can Ohio State get a stop? Locke takes the snap. Locke dancing, fires down the right side. It's caught. And number 9 catches it and will not even come close to the 1st down as the tackle is made on the play by the true veteran for this Ohio State defense in Tommy Eichenberg. And once again, another 4th down situation here for Wisconsin. First contact was made by number 10. That's Denzel Burke. Glad to have him back in the secondary for this Ohio State defense. But he was able to get first contact despite not bringing him down. And then Tommy Eichenberg said, let me do the rest. Let me shove him out of bounds. Let me do whatever it takes to get this man down. And that's exactly what they do, leading to a 4th down and 3 and allowing Wisconsin to punt. And the punter stands at about the 21, punting this all the way down. And Jaden Ballard calls for the fair catch, which is just outside the 20 at about the 21. And that is where Ohio State will start for the next offensive drive of the game. I'm telling you guys, a lot of credit for Ohio State's defense. You got to give a lot of credit to Jim Knowles, though. He's found a way to really get this defense together this year. And I'm loving what I'm seeing. Only allowing 10 points a game, you got to love it from Jim Knowles. You need to give Jim Knowles credit for what he's done with this Ohio State defense. You need to give him credit. He's done a phenomenal job. This was nothing like what he did last year. Last year, Ohio State's defense was okay, but it's nothing compared to this year. And not to mention, Ohio State's played 2 top 10 teams, and they've shoved both of them down in Penn State and Notre Dame. Got to give Jim Knowles credit. Got to give Jim Knowles credit where credit's due. You have to. You got to love it, though. That defense is really making plays for this Ohio State defense. The defense overall is making great plays for Ohio State. Got to love it. As for this offense, they're really starting to click now, which you have to love it. Ohio State's offense, rather, after they were starting off very slowly, they're now finding ways to click. And you got to give a little bit of credit to Ryan Day. I mean, he's being smarter with the football. On the interception, though, that's on Kyle McCord. Should have never made the decision to throw it to Cornell Tate. Never. Should have never made this decision to throw it to Cornell Tate. Wow, USC barely survived over Cal. Holy cow. 50-49 being the final score between USC and Cal. Sure, that was a great game. But here we go with Ohio State's offense back on the field. Starting at their own 22, McCord takes a snap, hands off on the jet sweep to Xavier Johnson. And Xavier Johnson getting about 8 yards to begin the drive here for Ohio State. Leading this to a second down and short, being a second down and 2 from about Ohio State's 30. That's a great play right there, calling the jet sweep. And that's a good play call right there by Ryan Day. That's a good play call right there. Second and 2 coming up here for the Buckeyes. Kyle McCord back in shotgun with an empty backfield. And McCord takes a snap. Actually, no, he has Chip Trayanum in the backfield, and Trayanum picks up the first down here for Ohio State. I did not see Chip Trayanum in the backfield, but either way, Kyle McCord wasn't shotgun, but you really could not see Chip Trayanum in the backfield on that play. But no matter what, though, regardless, it is a first down for the Buckeyes. You see Brutus on the screen. Gotta love him as a mascot. Here we go. Clock is winding down towards the end of the first half. Ohio State stands at their own 26-yard line. McCord takes a snap. Empty backfield, and it's incomplete. They had Chip Trayanum as an eligible receiver, but he is not able to make the play. Ohio State's points per game in terms of ranking in the Big Ten. This year, Ohio State averaging 33.7 points per game, which is third in the Big Ten through 8 weeks so far into the season. Last 2 years, they have been first in the Big Ten. 2021 averaging 45.7 points per game, and last year averaging 44.2 points per game. Both were first in the Big Ten. This year, what Ohio State's averaging is third in the Big Ten right now. Second and 10 for the Buckeyes from the 34. McCord fires down the middle of the field to the freshman Cornell Tate, and it is caught. First down, Ohio State, just like that. And the freshman Cornell Tate able to make plays for this Ohio State offense. And especially this one right here, where he runs a nice little post drag right there, picking up that first down. And I'll tell you, this guy's going to have some type of future after all the current receivers starting are going to be potentially leaving for the draft. Essentially, all 3 of them will. So the receivers will be starting from scratch, but we do have a lot of good depth behind our starters. As McCord fires it down the left side, it's caught by Henderson. Henderson still running, putting on shifty moves. And Henderson picking up about 5 yards here for Ohio State. Second and 5 coming up for the Buckeyes. They're marching down the field right now, using the running backs a lot more in the pass game. But 63 rushing yards, though, for Ohio State's offense to Wisconsin's 19. And as for the passing yards, 140 for Ohio State to Wisconsin's 12. 203 total yards for Ohio State, only 31 for Wisconsin. Here we go. Extra blockers added with Cade Stover and G. Scott both in the game. Here we go. McCord handing it off to Henderson. Henderson finds a gap and finds the first down again for Ohio State. And Travion Henderson will go down at the Wisconsin 40, and it is a big-time first down for the Buckeyes with under 6 minutes to play in the first half. 90 total yards of offense for Travion Henderson, 45 in the running game and in the receiving game. Just a little bit inside the 40 are the Buckeyes right now. McCord in shotgun yet again with Henderson in the backfield. And Kyle McCord just goes ahead and spikes the ball down as there is a flag on the play. And it will be a false start here against the offense. And it will be on the backup tight end, G. Scott. My guy, Lucas Holman, what's going on, my guy? Appreciate you for coming through. Hit the like button if you have not done so, Lucas, and appreciate you for coming through the stream. Said if Wisconsin wins, will they be ranked? Potentially they could. Wisconsin's one of the best teams outside of the top 25, being that not ranked, they're one of the best teams. So potentially if they do somehow win this game, they would probably find a way to be ranked into the top 25. And once again, Kyle McCord with terrible decision-making as he fired it down the field, and it's his second interception of the night. That's terrible by Kyle McCord. Terrible. What on earth was that from Kyle? My goodness. Tried to fire it down the middle of the field, not even close to Marvin Harrison Jr. You know these guys are going to be up against Marvin Harrison. They're going to be up against him all night long. You got to find a way to get Marvin Harrison Jr. open. That's more interceptions than what Kyle McCord has all year. I'm telling you guys, though, Wisconsin's defense is one to not mess around with. Similar to Iowa. Both those defenses right there, they're defenses to not mess around with. So you cannot take this defense for granted. You can't do it. Got to be smart with the football at all times. And that includes not turning the ball over, Kyle. Let's go here. Let's get straightened up. Let's get straightened up here, Kyle. Let's go. Come on, this defense needs to make a play. I mean, Kyle McCord's made some good plays, but overall, he just has not made some of the best decisions in this game. And Wisconsin is not going easy. They're a team that you have to take seriously, even if they're not ranked. Because they're probably on the verge of making it into the top 25. They're probably on the verge right now. So you cannot take this Wisconsin team for granted. You have got to be better with your decision-making, Kyle McCord. Like, let's go. I mean, to be fair, for Marvin Harrison Jr.'s sake, he did get behind the defender, and the defender just went ahead and just got in front. So at the same time for Kyle McCord, I'm not sure if there were any other options available for him to throw the ball to. And he went to his number one option in Marvin Harrison Jr. And again, that's the second time he's gotten intercepted. First time he was trying to throw the ball towards the true freshman Cardinal Tate and gets picked off in the end zone for a touchback. And now gets picked off as he's trying to go ahead and find his old buddy Marvin Harrison Jr. in the middle of the field. And then that gets intercepted. So Kyle McCord, you need to be better. I mean, the DB just made a great play. I mean, I really do think that Marvin Harrison Jr. had to cut in a little bit more because the DB saw that coming easily. But here we go with the 1st and 10 here for Wisconsin, and Braylon Allen getting back to the Braylon Allen ways as he gets to get about a gain of 9 yards, and 2nd and short coming up here for Wisconsin. 2nd and short coming up here for the Badgers. 6 carries, 27 yards for Braylon Allen, and Braylon Allen gets stuffed on the next play. This defense is making plays, and that time it's Michael Hall for the defensive tackle room making the play here against Braylon Allen with the 3rd down coming up. Michael Hall making it look like Jalen Carter out there. My goodness. Looks like they called a neutral zone infraction on JT Tuimoloau. Or rather, an offsides on JT Tuimoloau, that is. Because his hand was exactly where the ball was, which is right on the line of scrimmage. Got to be behind the line of scrimmage at all times before the ball is snapped. As Braden Locke facing pressure, and he is dumped for a huge loss. And it's Jordan again, number 7 for Ohio State. Huge loss from this Wisconsin offense. Number 7, Jordan, able to make that play and drop the true freshman for a huge loss. Second down and 20. A loss of 10 on the play for this Wisconsin offense. Here we go. 4 minutes left to play here in the first half. Second and 20. Locke takes the snap, fires a quick pass down the left side. It's caught by number 4, but number 4 will get out of bounds. Might have gotten close to half the yards back, but no matter what, it's going to be a third down and long here for Wisconsin. Clock is still running. Third down 13 here for the Badgers. Can they pick up the first down, or will Ohio State's defense get another stop? Third down 13. Braden Locke takes the snap. Locke looking, fires down the middle of the field, and it's caught. And he will be tackled that time on the play by number 3, Martinez. But regardless, though, it is a first down for the Badgers. And the Badgers looking to respond here with the score. And Braylon Allen puts a big block on Lathan Ransom, which he prevented the sack on Braden Locke on the play. So all that goes to Braden Locke for the credit right there. And here we go on first and 10. It's Braylon Allen again, getting shifty with the moves. And getting over half the yardage is Braylon Allen. Going to be about a second down 3 here for Wisconsin. And they are marching down the field now, looking to get on the board for the first time in this game. Can Ohio State's defense hold? Second and 3 here for Wisconsin. Locke takes the snap, goes on play action, fires on the right side. It's caught. And Josh Proctor didn't even bother trying to put any effort in. And it's caught by Bell here for this Wisconsin receiving group. But regardless, it is a first down here for the Badgers. And Ohio State's defense not holding up right now as Wisconsin looks to respond, and they are responding big time. But here we go. From the 11-yard line, first down for the Badgers. Badgers need to get to the 1-yard line for the first down to set up first and goal. But they're going to review that last play that Wisconsin had, which Ohio State thought was not a catch. So we'll take a second look. Did he make the play? Did the ball touch the ground? It is very close from this angle that they're showing at first. This should be a bit better. No, because the ball gets behind him. The ball might have touched the ground, actually. It might be an incomplete pass. All right, this is probably the best angle we can get. Yeah, I think it might have touched the ground, actually. It might be an incomplete pass, though. I wasn't going to be surprised, though. It was actually a catch, though, by the intended receiver. The call stands. And back to a first and 10 here for Wisconsin. He just barely was able to come down with it, but he had control, even with it touching the ground. Is basically what we're getting here. But here we go. First and 10 for Wisconsin from the Ohio State 11. Locke takes the snap, hands it off to Braylon Allen, who makes it a 2nd and 1, getting a gain of 9. Getting back to his old ways here. 2nd down and 1 here for Wisconsin. And they look to punch it in and get on the board with the clock winding down. And Kyle McCord about to have his helmet back on. 2nd and 1 here for Wisconsin. Can Ohio State's defense get a stop? Locke takes the snap. Locke hands it off to Braylon Allen. And Braylon Allen, did he get the first? It's very hard to tell. He did end up getting the first down at exactly the 1-yard line. So it will be 1st and goal here for Wisconsin. And by far, this has been Ohio State's worst drive in a while in terms of their defense. Here we go. They're getting everybody at the line here. Who's going to get lower? Locke gets it out to the receiver. Number 11 is in for the touchdown, and Wisconsin is on the board with 43 seconds left to go here in the first half. 9 plays for Wisconsin, 52 yards, 4 minutes, 26 seconds taken off the clock. And they totally fooled Ohio State's defense on that play. Ohio State thought it was going to potentially be a run by Braylon Allen, but turns out it was a pass play here by Bell, but he was actually down on with his knee. His knee actually touched the ground, though. But he was never touched by contact. He was never touched by contact, but his knee was on the turf. And you can clearly see that his knee does touch. You can clearly see that his knee does touch the turf. He isn't touched by contact, though. But I think if your knee does hit the ground, I think that's where the ball will be spotted. So it is going to be short of the end zone. And the 6 points for the moment will be taken off the board. And a clear shot showing that his knee is down. The receiver caught the pass, but was down with the knee hitting the turf. So it'll be a 2nd down here for Wisconsin. It'll be 2nd and goal here for Wisconsin coming up, as they did overturn the call to saying that the receiver's knee was down. And it will be a 2nd and goal here for Wisconsin. Do not be surprised if they either run that same play or give it up to Braylon Allen. Because Braylon Allen is starting to get back into form here a little bit. Braylon Allen is starting to get going here for Wisconsin's running game. So do not be surprised if either play happens. Second and goal here for Wisconsin. Can Ohio State's defense get a stop? And they're having the conversation. The 3 officials are having a conversation on the sideline here with Luke Fickell. And they're letting him know that his knee did touch the ground. So now that they took 7 seconds off the clock, so Wisconsin did not elect to use a timeout, which is the reason why they did go ahead and do a 7-second runoff. So now the clock is set to 36 seconds, which is actually what they were talking to Luke Fickell about. Here we go. Wisconsin wanting to get extra blockers up the middle. Locke hands it off to Braylon Allen, and Braylon Allen is going to be short. And here we go with the 3rd down and goal here for Wisconsin, but a Buckeye is down, and it's not a guy that you want down on the field for Ohio State's defense, and down on the field right now is JT Tuimoloau. This is not a guy you want to have down on the field. One of Ohio State's best defensive linemen right now, down on the field here for the team. And he cannot seem to get up, as the medical staff is out there to help him out, probably potentially carry him off the field. And I'm not even sure what in the world happened here. But JT Tuimoloau was able to make the play. I think it's just because he hits his knee on the turf. I think it's the reason why he's probably down. Because his knee hits the turf right where the knee starts to bend. It's right where the knee starts to bend was where his knee just went ahead and hit the turf. So that's the only reason why he's down the field is because of that. And boy, he can barely stand up. I'll have to shake it off, though. He hopes to be okay. I mean, he moves just fine, though, for now. But he's going to go to the sideline. He looks like he's moving fine for now. They'll probably check him out in the medical tent. Or just have him sit for the rest of the first half, potentially. 3rd and goal here coming up, though, for Wisconsin. Can they get 7 on the board, or will they be kicking a field goal? JT Tuimoloau, though, one of the leaders on that defense, and a guy that you do not want to have off the field whatsoever. 3rd and goal here coming up for the Badgers. Caden Curry in at defensive end to replace JT Tuimoloau. Locke pitches out to Braylon Allen, and Braylon Allen is stuffed yet again. And this Ohio State defense is able to hold Wisconsin out of the end zone. This is absolutely incredible what we are seeing from this Ohio State defense. And a timeout will be called here by Wisconsin. Unbelievable on how Ohio State is able to hold up, even if Wisconsin is at the 1.5-yard line. This is unbelievable. They went ahead and pitched it to Braylon Allen, and Braylon Allen still gets stuffed. It's Jack Sawyer, Tommy Eichenberg, a little bit of Tyleik Williams in the conversation. My goodness. This is incredible from Ohio State's defense, in which Wisconsin should have been able to score. They don't. They get denied. They should have been able to score right there. And now Braylon Allen is hurt for Wisconsin. And boy, this would be a huge hit to Wisconsin's offense if this is a severe injury for their star running back, Braylon Allen. But regardless, though, that is an incredible play. That is incredible. On how Ohio State's defense is able to hold the Badgers out of the end zone again. A lot of credit goes to Jim Knowles, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to tell you that right now. Jim Knowles gets a lot of credit for how he's playing this defense for the first half. Braylon Allen does seem to be limping a little bit. But for the moment, it looks like he's able to move on his own power, which is good. Hopefully Braylon Allen's okay. But I'm just saying, though, if he is somehow out for the rest of the game, this would be a huge hit to Wisconsin's offense. That man right there, Braylon Allen, is honestly one of the top running backs in the Big Ten and probably one of the top running backs in the nation. They'll potentially force Wisconsin to go ahead and kick a field goal. That's probably what they're going to do. I doubt Braden Locke goes ahead and goes for it. And yes, indeed, they will go ahead and kick the field goal. Nathaniel Vakos, the sophomore kicker for Wisconsin, 0 for 1 so far. And this is a 19-yard chip shot for Nathaniel Vakos. Kick is up, and the kick is good to finally, for the first time in this game, get Wisconsin on the board. I will say, though, that should have been 7 points on the board right there for Wisconsin after Ohio State's defense struggled for a little bit, but was able to hold up in the red zone, especially inside the 5, in which they did a great job. And again, a lot of credit goes to Jim Knowles for the phenomenal style of play for this defense, and that takes us to halftime. Wisconsin will receive the second half kickoff, but Ohio State is up 10-3 over the Wisconsin Badgers as we head to halftime. A lot of credit to this Wisconsin, or rather this Ohio State defense. That's how you go ahead and end off the half. And now Braylon Allen is hopping, and needs help from the medical staff to go into the locker room. But regardless, though, Ohio State leads by a touchdown over the Badgers 10-3. As ladies and gentlemen, we are officially at halftime. Let me go ahead and grab the halftime stats, and then we'll take the halftime break. All right, ladies and gents, I am back here. I will eventually go ahead and pull up the halftime stats. All right, ladies and gents, we're going to go ahead and go over the halftime stats here, and then we will take the halftime break like we always do. So starting out on the Ohio State side of the ball, Kyle McCord so far for Ohio State in terms of the passing game. Currently sitting at 10 of 19 right now for 140 yards with a passing touchdown and 2 interceptions. Going to really need to correct that, though, for the second half, because Wisconsin's going to be coming out swinging for the second half. They're going to be coming out angry for the second half, and they get the ball to start. So Kyle McCord, you got to be ready to go. Following it up in the running game is Travion Henderson with 10 carries for 44 yards, averaging 4.4 yards a carry. Xavier Johnson with 3 carries so far for 19 yards, averaging 6.3 yards a carry. Chip Trayanum with 3 carries so far for 10 yards, averaging 3.3 yards a carry. Kyle McCord trying to run the ball, but hasn't had much success. 3 carries for -4 yards, averaging -1.3 yards a carry. Now over to the receiving aspect of things here. Marvin Harrison Jr. so far with only 2 receptions for 51 yards, averaging 25.5 yards per reception with a touchdown. Following it up is Travion Henderson, who is providing some production in the receiving game with 4 receptions for 45 yards, averaging 11.2 yards per reception. Following that up is Julian Fleming with 2 receptions for 19 yards, averaging 9.5 yards per reception. Carnell Tate with a reception for 14 yards, and G. Scott with a reception for 11 yards. They apparently do not show the defensive stats on the stat sheet here, but in terms of punt returns, though, Jaden Ballard so far with only 1 return for 6 yards. Jaden Fielding so far for the kicking, 1 of 1 on the field goals. Perfect on field goals for the night. And that one came from 27 yards out, and the man has 4 points so far for Ohio State. And then Jesse Miracle only having to punt 1 time for 42 yards. And that's how the first half stats end for the Ohio State Buckeyes. in terms of the player stats, though. Now over to the Wisconsin side of things now. Braden Locke, the true freshman, off to an okay start, but not really an okay start. It's more of like a rough start here. Going 8 of 15 for 43 yards with no touchdowns and no interceptions. In terms of the running game, Braylon Allen with 10 carries for 50 yards, averaging 5 yards a carry. And then Braden Locke tried to run with one, but had that one carry go for negative 10 yards. As for the receiving group, Will Pauling leading the way for Wisconsin's receiving group with 1 reception for 19 yards. Skylar Bell following up with 3 receptions for 10 yards, averaging 3.3 yards per reception. C.J. Williams following it up here for Wisconsin with 1 reception for 7 yards. Jackson Acker with a reception for 4 yards. Bryson Green with a reception for 3 yards. And then Braylon Allen with a reception for no yards so far in the first half to end up the stats in the first half for the receiving game of Wisconsin. As for kick returns, Chamiri Dyke with a return for 25 yards. As for punt returns, also Chamir Dyke with a return for 35 yards on punt returns. In terms of the kicking, Nathaniel Vakos with going 1 of 2 on the field goals, 50%. That longest being from 19 yards out with a little 19-yard chip shot, and 3 points on the board for Nathaniel Vakos. As for the punting, is Atticus Bertrams with 3 punts on the night for 119 yards, averaging 39.7 yards per punt, and none of the punts for Atticus Bertrams went inside the 20. So that is how the stats end for Ohio State's stats in terms of the players. Now over to the team stats now, as Ohio State has 209 yards of total offense to Wisconsin's 83. Ohio State with 140 passing yards to Wisconsin's 43. Ohio State with 69 rushing yards to Wisconsin's 40. Ohio State averaging 5.5 yards per play to Wisconsin's 3.2. Ohio State with 12 first downs to Wisconsin's 6. Ohio State with going 4 of 8 on third down to Wisconsin's 1 for 6. Ohio State 0 of 1 on fourth down, and Wisconsin has yet to attempt a fourth down play in this first half so far. Well, in this game overall. In terms of the total plays, Ohio State with 38 total plays to Wisconsin's 26. Wisconsin with 3 total punts to Ohio State's 1. Wisconsin with 4 total penalties costing them 22 yards. And Ohio State with Ohio State's 3 total penalties for a total of 20 yards. Each team has a fumble lost in this game. 2 interceptions thrown by Colin McCord for Ohio State to Braden Locke's 0. And then in terms of time of possession, Ohio State has had the ball for 18 minutes and 36 seconds to Wisconsin's 11 minutes and 24 seconds. And ladies and gents, on that note, that is how the first half stats come to a close right here. Ohio State with a 10-3 lead right now over the Wisconsin Badgers. Ohio State's offense still looking to start to get clicking here. Colin McCord needs to make adjustments immediately because he cannot keep up those interceptions. But I like the way the defense is playing right now, holding the Badgers to a field goal towards the end of the first half. And I feel good at where we're at right now, but it's not about how you start, it's about how you finish. We still got 30 minutes of football left to play. Let's see if this Ohio State team can go ahead and finish the job. And ladies and gents, on that note, we're going to go ahead and take the halftime break. Y'all should know how this works, ladies and gents. Go get a snack, go get a drink, go to the bathroom, do whatever you guys need to do in order to get ready for the second half of this game between the Ohio State Buckeyes and the Wisconsin Badgers. And ladies and gents, on that note, I will see y'all back here for the second half. All right, guys, I am back, ready to go for the second half here, which should start in a few minutes, as it looks like the Ohio State-Wisconsin game is about to get right back into action here. Go back to the chatters. I did see a comment here from my guy, Mims Gamer. What's going on, my guy? I appreciate you for coming through. Hit the like button if you have not done so, Mims, and I appreciate you for coming through to the stream. And Mims Gamer, this goes for everybody else, too. If you guys did not hear, on Monday, some point in the 8 o'clock hour, your boy is going to be on WHP 580 as well as the iHeartRadio sometime in the 8 o'clock hour on Monday morning. So be sure to go ahead and tune in. Talking all things Eagles on the radio. So be sure to tune in and have your radios on during the 8 o'clock hour because your boy is going to be on WHP 580 and on iHeartRadio. But yeah, it's time for this offense to go ahead and clean up these turnovers, and it's time for them to get going in the second half. It's going to be on the offense to win this game. Looks like JT Tuimoloau is okay, which is a good thing because we need him for this defense, and we need him badly. So I cannot rely on Caden Curry for the second half. But the second half, speaking of the second half is officially underway, and Wisconsin will have the ball to begin the second half. This will be a touchback here for the Badgers. And the Badgers will start at their own 25. Let's go. Let's go. 30 more minutes of football. Let's go. Offense, you got to win us this game. You have to. Have to win us this game. Defense is going to do their job. Offense, it's your job to respond. Let's go. Here we go. 1st and 10 here for the Badgers starting at their own 25. Locke takes the snap. Locke fires down the right side. It is caught. And it's caught by number 9 for the first down. And the defense already starting out rough. And Steel Chambers finally making the tackle, but not until the intended receiver in green makes it into Ohio State territory. It's a good throw right there by Braden Locke. Denzel Burke could not make the tackle, and neither could Josh Proctor. It had to take Steel Chambers to go ahead and bring down the intended receiver. Here we go. 1st and 10 here for the Badgers. Locke takes the snap, hands it off to his running back. And his running back will go ahead and pick up a couple here. That is Acker once again. And Acker's going to get about 3 or 4 yards on the play. 2nd down and about 6 or 7 coming up here for the Badgers. Here we go. 2nd down and 6. Locke looking for an option. Fires down the middle of the field and is incomplete. Try to look for the intended receiver in the middle of the field. That is going to be number 6 here for Wisconsin that Locke was trying to look for. Number 6 being Will Pauling, the top receiver so far based on the first half stats. But Josh Proctor says, no, sir. As here we go. 3rd down and 6 here from the Ohio State 44. Locke runs with it, and Locke is going to pick up the 1st down and so much more. All the green grass in front of him. And Braden Locke is going to get down to the Ohio State 15-yard line. And Wisconsin starting out with a bang here in the second half to begin. Too many open holes here from this Ohio State defense that they are allowing to this Wisconsin offense. They need to be better than that. Just because the defense had a great first half does not mean that they can be slacking in the second half. Obviously, the offense has to come together too, but the defense has to continue to do their job. As Locke tosses it to his intended receiver, I do believe it was Braylon Allen trying to get the ball, but he just threw that one to the turf, and that is going to result in an incomplete pass. 2nd and 10 here for the Badgers. If it was not Braylon Allen, it was Bryson Green as the intended receiver. But Acker is now in the backfield with with the quarterback right here in Braden Locke, and he throws it to Acker as he takes the snap, but only gets a gain of about 2 as about Steel Chambers is able to make the play here for this Ohio State defense, resulting in a 3rd down and long coming up. Bleacher, what's going on, my guy? Appreciate you for coming through. It's so cool being on WHP 580 AM radio on the RJ Harris Breakfast Show. We'll be listening at 8 o'clock. Yeah, I appreciate that, Bleacher. Appreciate you for coming through as well into the stream. Hit the like button if you have not done so. Once again, appreciate you for coming through. As Braden Locke looking in the pocket, firing towards the end zone, and it is wide open. Touchdown, Wisconsin on a 3rd down and 8. And they are coming out swinging here to begin the second half. 7 plays, 75 yards in 2.5 minutes. And Ohio State just leaving everything wide open. Lathan Ransom was probably supposed to be the guy right there. Making the catch was Will Pauling, picking up the touchdown here for Wisconsin. And this potentially can become a tied ball game. It's up to the offense now to do their job. Kick is up, and the kick is missed. It's no... Wait, did he make it? I thought it went off to the right. Wait, I thought he missed it. Turns out he made it. He barely squeaked out that extra point, to say the least. But regardless, though, it is an even ball game here at 10 points apiece here between the two teams. How will Ohio State's offense respond? Got to respond here with 6, Buckeyes. Let's go. Got to respond with 6. There's no responding with 3. Got to respond with 6 on the board. As you know, Luke Fickell is going to find a way to adjust here. So it's your job to go ahead and adjust and find a way to get this offense going. Who's going to be interviewing you? On WHP 580, it's going to be this female by the name of Holly Love. She will be interviewing me, talking all things Eagles over there. So she'll be interviewing me on WHP 580 as well as iHeartRadio for both places that you guys can tune in to when I am on during the 8 o'clock hour. Do not know when it's going to be, but it will be somewhere in the 8 o'clock hour. But all I know is that this offense really needs to respond, and they need to respond immediately. Offense, this is your job to respond. The defense had to give up a touchdown. How are you going to respond? You got to respond with 6. You got to respond with 6 points on the board. I'm especially talking to Kyle McCord here. He needs to put a drive together, and he needs to put it together badly, ASAP. He must put it together ASAP. Key thing is not turning the ball over. That's what Kyle McCord has done twice in this game. Already more times than what he has already done all season in terms of interceptions. It's up to Kyle McCord here to go ahead and put a nice drive together here for the Buckeyes. It's up to Kyle McCord, the receivers, this O-line, the running back room led by Travion Henderson. It's up to everybody on this offense here to execute a nice drive. Make it happen, Ohio State. Let's go. As this kick is going to be all the way in the end zone for a touchback, and Ohio State will start from their own 25-yard line. Braden Locke so far in the second half on that first drive to begin the second half for Wisconsin, he got a lot of time to go ahead and do whatever he wanted with the football, whether it was run the ball, or throw the ball, which Ohio State eventually was probably going to give up a touchdown at some point because there's no way Wisconsin was going to be held to just 3 points throughout the entire game or just out of the end zone as a whole. But here we go. 12 and a half minutes left in the third. Let's see how the offense responds with McCord in shotgun. Hands it off to Henderson, and Henderson is going to be stuffed. Barely gets, I think he might have been dropped for a little bit of a loss right there. Not more than a yard, though, just a little bit. But it'll be a second down and about 10 here for Ohio State. We need a quality offensive drive here. Let's go. Quality offensive drive here. Come on. Here we go. Second and 10 here for Ohio State. McCord takes a snap. McCord fires down the left side. It is going to be caught by Marvin Harrison Jr. And Marvin Harrison Jr. finding a hole and picks up the first down here for Ohio State. Runs a nice route down the left side. And, man, he was torching the DBs on that play, especially number 2 for that Wisconsin secondary. In Hallman, who has gotten talked about a lot for this Wisconsin defense as one of, if not their best defensive back on the team. Probably their best defensive back on the team, honestly. But here we go. First and 10 here for Ohio State. They are currently at their own 41-yard line. What will Kyle McCord do here? McCord in shotgun, hands it off to Henderson, and Henderson runs into another wall of red jerseys coming from the Badgers defense. So not a great start to the second half here for TreVeyon Henderson. We're looking at safety Hunter Wohler, who actually grew up in Wisconsin. Another one of their good defensive backs in the secondaries. McCord fires this one over to G. Scott, the backup tight end. And G. Scott able to gain probably about 6 yards on the play, making about a 3rd down and 4, maybe a 3rd down and 5 here for Ohio State coming up. Ohio State needs to pick up the first down here and keep the drive alive because Wisconsin is starting to get hot now. Tonight overall, Ohio State is 4 of 7 on 3rd down. What will they do here? What will they draw up on this 3rd down and 4? McCord takes a snap. McCord dancing, fires, just dumps it to Trey Anum, and Trey Anum is going to pick up the first down here for the Buckeyes. Trey Anum turns nothing into something here for Ohio State. Great play right there. A couple missed tackles by the Badgers defense. I personally didn't think he was going to get it, but somehow in the world he finds a way to do so. Great play right there by Chip Trey Anum to pick up that first down. Here we go. First and 10 here for the Buckeyes from the Wisconsin 49 as Henderson runs with the football, and that's a much better run by Henderson. He lost the ball, but G. Scott was able to pick it up. And looks like, again, this is going to be another first down for Ohio State in one of the craziest ways that you'll see tonight. Henderson coughs up the football. They're actually saying for the moment he was down, but G. Scott went ahead and picked it up anyway in case if it wasn't a dead ball on the play, which it was dead at the spot that Henderson was. So the first down will not count for G. Scott. Here we go on a 2nd down 3 from about the Wisconsin 42. McCord takes a snap, hands it off to Henderson. Henderson finds a hole. TreVeyon Henderson going inside the 20 of Wisconsin. And Ohio State running down the field using TreVeyon Henderson, sticking to what works. And a big-time play here for this Ohio State offense when they need it most. The fake to Marvin Harrison Jr. on the jet sweep, handing it off to TreVeyon Henderson for another big carry here for Ohio State. And he ends up downside the 20 at about the 17. 1st and 10. McCord hands it off to Henderson again. Then he runs into a wall of red jerseys and will lose 2 yards on the play. 2nd and 12 coming up. As their safety again, Wahlward, number 24, making the play for this Wisconsin defense. But here we go. 2nd and 12 coming up here. Under 7.5 minutes left to play in the third. Buckeyes currently stand at the 19-yard line of Wisconsin. McCord with an empty backfield takes the snap. McCord fires down the right sideline. It is going to be caught for the touchdown. And this is the connection with St. Joseph's Prep, Marvin Harrison Jr. And they finally connect on their 2nd touchdown, actually, of the night. Did he at least get a footing? And yes, he did. That is good for a touchdown. Should have called a face mask right there in the end as the DB easily grabs the face mask of Marvin Harrison Jr. Grabs it by a landslide. It should impact the kickoff, but there was no flag thrown. Ohio State, I think, wanted a flag for a late face mask, but they're not going to get it. But either way, that is going to be a touchdown for Ohio State. And the 2nd touchdown of the night between Kyle McCord and Marvin Harrison Jr. Jaden Fielding on to attempt the extra point. Kick is up. Kick is good right down the center. And Ohio State takes the lead yet again, and they retake the lead at that. 17-10 over the Wisconsin Badgers. And great response right there by Ohio State. Can the defense get another stop on the Wisconsin Badgers offense? We shall find out after the commercial break. But great response, though, by Ohio State's offense. That is the drive that we needed to see right there after a slow start to the first half. That is exactly what we needed. Trayvon Henderson, you get credit for that drive. Marvin Harrison Jr., way to finish the play. Great job by both of those guys especially. Phenomenal job by both those players. They were the main guys on that drive to go ahead and lead it for 6 points. And a touchdown with the extra point by Jaden Fielding to give the Buckeyes a 17-10 lead over the Badgers. Let's go. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. Gotta love it right there, ladies and gents. You gotta love it. The St. Joseph's Prep connection is real between Kyle McCord and Marvin Harrison Jr. You have got to love it. You gotta love it, ladies and gentlemen. You gotta love it. But let's keep doing the same thing. Defense, you got to respond. You cannot let Braylon Allen, if he's back in the game, you cannot let Braylon Allen get so many holes from this offensive line that Wisconsin has. Because Wisconsin will allow Braylon Allen to get those holes. You got to get pressure on Braylon Allen. You got to get pressure on Braden Locke, whatever his name is. Braden Locke, okay. I was right the second time. Let's go here, Ohio State. Get this defense back to first half form. Let's go. Get this defense back to first half form. It's what we need going our way right now. It's exactly what we need. We need our defense back in first half form. Jim Knowles, let's go. Develop the plays in the way that you know best. Let's go. Defense, you got to execute. Get the pressure to Braden Locke. Get the pressure to Braylon Allen. Get the pressure on everybody on this Wisconsin offense. Make something happen. Got to make something happen after that miserable last drive that this defense had. Jim Knowles, let's call the right plays here. Defense, let's execute. Come on. Let's go. You got to love the St. Joseph's Prep connection between Colin McCord and Marvin Harrison Jr. Jaden Fielding to go ahead and kick this down once again, which he will do so. And this will be a touchback here for Wisconsin. And once again, they will start out at their own 25-yard line. As we get a look at Marvin Harrison Jr., what he's done so far, and he's absolutely burnt these defensive backs after a slow start that he had in the first half, especially with the connection between him and Colin McCord. But he's been able to really get it together on the last couple snaps. And unlike the last two drives that have resulted in touchdowns, Ohio State has really managed to really get things together. Most receiving yards in school history, Marvin Harrison is 9th in that category. Will be about 40 more yards away from being 8th in Ohio State history. But here we go with Wisconsin starting out with a 6-yard carry by their backup running back in Acker. That would be Jackson Acker making the play. So far, do not see Braylon Allen on the field. And we still do not see Braylon Allen on the field. As again on 2nd and 4, it's about a 2-yard carry here by Jackson Acker. It'll be about a 3rd down and 2 here for Wisconsin. What will they draw up here? What can they draw up to pick up the first down? We really do not see Braylon Allen in the run game just yet. We're seeing a lot of Jackson Acker right now. Wisconsin needing 2 yards to pick up the first. Locke hands it off to Acker, and Acker is going to be stopped again. Ohio State's defense holds again. Jim Knowles' defense holds once again on this Wisconsin offense. And my goodness, this is forcing another punt here for the Badgers. Cody Simon reads it perfectly, and Latham Ransom comes in for the rest. Latham Ransom in on cleanup duty. After Cody Simon gets it started, Latham Ransom finishes it. And here we go. Here is the punt by their punter. We'll go all the way down, a little inside the 25, and Ballard will catch it with a fair catch inside the 25 at about the 24. And the Ohio State offense will be back on the field looking to respond and take a 2-score lead over the Badgers. Can they do it, though? We will find out coming up on the next drive after the commercial breaks. Let's go. Defense, that is how you respond right there. You respond with some authority. That's how you respond right there, defense. Offense, on that last drive, that was great too. Getting it to Marvin Harrison Jr., getting it to the connection that we all know and love. Now let's go ahead and do it again. Repeat the process. Repeat the process. Let's go. Repeat the process, guys. Let's go. Come on. That's how you do it, defense. A lot of credit to Jim Knowles right there. Ohio State averaging 10. Ohio State's defense allowing 10 points a game. And that shows why. They've allowed 10 points in this game right now on the button. And they're showing you why they have allowed only 10 points a game. They know how to get stops. And Jim Knowles is really getting aggressive. Gotta love it. Now, for the rest of the season, including that last game against you-know-who, Jim Knowles better stay that aggressive with this defense. And the way that Ohio State has really picked up their ground right now, they're going to need to be better, obviously, because they cannot allow anything to this team up north defense. They cannot allow it. So Colin McCord is obviously going to have to be more efficient for that game. Again, that game's on Thanksgiving weekend, though, so he has a lot of time to prepare for that game. But that's a big game for the Buckeyes. That's a big game. That's a big game right there for the Buckeyes. But Colin McCord does have some time to prepare with the teams that he has coming up. The teams that Ohio State has to play specifically. But here we go. With the Ohio State offense back on the field, starting out from their own 24. McCord takes a snap, goes on play action. McCord dancing, fires down the middle of the field. It's caught. Marvin Harrison Jr. finds a way to get open again. The St. Joseph's Prep connection continues between the quarterback and the wide receiver. Marvin Harrison Jr. just finding all the ways to get as open as humanly possible and goes for another big burst and another first down here for the Buckeyes. 108 receiving yards now in this game and 2 receiving touchdowns. McCord hands it off to Henderson. Henderson going down the right side. Still going is TreVeyon Henderson. And might have gotten half the yards for a first down with a potential gain of 5. 5 minutes left to go in the third quarter. Potential 2nd and 5 coming up here for Ohio State. So, yeah, the stretch the rest of the way before the team up north game is Rutgers, Michigan State, and Minnesota. That will give Colin McCord some time to prepare, which I like. 16 carries for TreVeyon Henderson for 79 yards, almost averaging 5 yards a carry in this game is TreVeyon Henderson. And McCord, once again, will give it off to TreVeyon Henderson. And Henderson will get about a yard or 2. They're going to probably give him maybe like 2 yards on the play, resulting in a 3rd down and 3 potentially coming up here for the Buckeyes. And that is exactly what it's going to be. Here we go. 3rd and 3 with about 4 minutes left in the third quarter. From the 47-yard line of Wisconsin, McCord takes the snap. McCord looking, going to run with it. McCord is going to pick up the first down with his legs. For a guy who's not known to have that athleticism, McCord displays the athleticism in everything that he has in his power and is able to run for the first down and pick it up here for Ohio State. Great run by Colin McCord. For a guy who is known to be a pocket passer, runs with the football, picks up the first, and makes a great play here to pick up a first down for this Ohio State offense. Now standing at the 42 of Wisconsin, McCord hands it off to Henderson. Henderson down the right side. TreVeyon Henderson, another first down for Ohio State. And he continues to run the ball down Wisconsin's throats. Again, great to have TreVeyon Henderson back out there on the field. A lot of missed tackles right there by Wisconsin's defense. But here we go. 1st and 10 here for the Buckeyes from the Wisconsin 30-yard line. McCord standing at the 35 in shotgun. Hands it off to Henderson. And Henderson is going to lose 2 to 3 yards on the play. And the defense of Wisconsin is going to hold up that time. Can't run the ball every play with TreVeyon Henderson. It's going to get too predictable at that point. Got to eventually get back to the pass game. You just cannot keep running with the football. You got to throw it at some point. Surprisingly, TreVeyon Henderson's only losing a yard. I thought he lost like 3. Turns out he did not. Here we go. Under 2 minutes left in the third quarter. McCord takes a snap. McCord fires down to Chip Trayanum, and Trayanum is only going to get a couple yards and goes down inside the 30 with a 3rd down and long coming up here for Ohio State. Here we go. Minute and a half left to go here in the third quarter. Can Ohio State pick up the first down? Or will Wisconsin's defense be able to hold them to a field goal? What will happen here on this play on 3rd and 8 from the Wisconsin 28-yard line? What will happen here? McCord with Trey Adam in the backfield. McCord back in shotgun. Standing at about the 33-yard line. Timeout is going to be called by Ohio State. The Bucs are like the Eagles. They got to win the tough games. Exactly. And this is a game that I had as a trap game too, Bleacher. But I did not expect Tanner Mordecai to not play in this game. I did not expect that. I didn't expect a freshman either, and Braden Locke to go ahead and start. But overall, I'd give Braden Locke a B- in the 2 games that he has played for Wisconsin ever since debuting after Tanner Mordecai went out. But here we go here on 3rd down and 8 with a minute 9 left to go in the 3rd. From the 28-yard line of Wisconsin. What will the Buckeyes do here? McCord takes a snap. McCord getting pressure in his face. And he will be decked. He's trying to get to an intended receiver. Wisconsin thought it was a fumble. It's not going to be. McCord will go off the field. A potential long field goal coming here for Ohio State. And it's actually going to be an intentional grounding. He never threw it to a receiver in the area. And that's a mistake right there by Kyle McCord. There's nobody that way. Josh Fryer is not an eligible receiver. If anyone's an eligible receiver, it's Chip Trayanum. He throws it the complete opposite way. And he's letting his coach know about that. And now what looked like was going to be a long field goal turns out to be a punt here coming from Jesse Mirko. This will be coming from a 4th and 17. And Mirko punts it. Just like a little bit of like a drop kick type of punt. And we'll end up at about the 6-yard line. And Ohio State's defense will look to hold here against Wisconsin's offense once again, as Ohio State's still up 17-10 with under a minute left to go here in the third quarter. This defense is once again going to have to respond here for Ohio State. After what would have looked like a 45-yard field goal for Jaden Fielding, turned out to be an intentional grounding on Kyle McCord, losing 5 yards and a loss of down, making it a 4th down. And Jaden Fielding was probably not going to make one from 50 yards out. So they had to go ahead and punt it. But deep into Wisconsin territory, where Wisconsin will start with the ball at about the 6-yard line of their own territory. So we'll see how this defense can hold up. And we'll see if Braylon Allen comes back or not, because Braylon Allen is still not back into the game yet. They had their backup running back in Jackson Acker taking snaps for Wisconsin on their last offensive drive. So we'll see if Braylon Allen returns to the field here on this drive or not. Sure, we'll get an update eventually. But for now, for the moment, though, it is unknown if Braylon Allen is going to return or not. All right, Ohio State. Come on, defense. Let's get going here. Kyle McCord not having the most efficient game, but he's doing everything he can to help Ohio State win against one of the top unranked teams in the nation in Wisconsin. Team just outside the top 25 in Wisconsin, on the verge of making it into the top 25. One of the best unranked teams out there. And starting off the drive, though, Braden Locke hitting it off once again to the backup running back, but Lathan Ransom making a huge play for a 4-yard loss. And it's another one of the backup running backs here for Wisconsin. And it'll go all the way back to about the 1 or 2 yard line. Lathan Ransom with a big time tackle. Loss of 4 on the player for Wisconsin. Backed up to about the 2-yard line. The 2.5 yard line. Here we go. 2nd and 14. Locke takes the snap. Locke runs. Locke barely gets out of the end zone. Is going to lose maybe another half yard. That's Tyleek Williams making the play. And Braden Locke will be down at about the 2-yard line exactly. And that's going to take us to the end of the third quarter, where Ohio State, with some momentum here going into the fourth quarter, as their defense looks to hold and looks to give the offense the ball right back. But can they do it on third down? We'll find out going into the fourth quarter as the Buckeyes are up by a touchdown. Come on, Buckeyes. Let's go here. Let's go. 15 more minutes of football. Make something happen. Ohio State's offense, though, as a whole, they've done a great job at adjusting. The defense, phenomenal job. Phenomenal job by this defense. They're showing you why they only allow 10 points a game this season. They're showing you exactly why. What you're seeing on the field is the reason why they only allow 10 points a game. For 15 more minutes, though, and then we have this one in the bag. Keep putting the pedal to the metal for 15 more minutes, Ohio State. Let's go. Defense, keep doing your job. You're playing a phenomenal game today. A lot of credit to Jim Knowles for calling the right plays here for Ohio State and their defense. And as for the offense, keep on clicking. Keep on getting down the field. Keep putting these offensive drives together. Luke Fickell, Braden Locke, they're not going easy. And it does not matter who the running back is for Wisconsin, whether if it's Braylon Allen, Jackson Acker, the third string running back, it doesn't matter. As for the receiving group, got to lock them up. Pressure that offensive line. Get to Braden Locke at all costs. Do whatever it takes to win this game. It's time to play 15 more good minutes of football. 15 more good minutes of football, Ohio State. That's all we got left. Here we go. Braden Locke standing in his end zone. Wisconsin at the 2-yard line on 3rd and 15. What will they do here? Locke with the pass, fires down the middle of the field. It's caught. And this will be a first down, it looks like, for number 11 in Bell. It looks like he'll just barely pick up the first down. Number 7, Jordan, just didn't get there in time, and he was not even close. That was his guy, and he never even had a chance to get to him. So Wisconsin just barely keeps the drive alive here for themselves. Here we go with the 1st and 10. Wisconsin looking to move down the field. Can they make something happen? From their own 18-yard line. Locke takes a snap, hands it off to number 34. That's Jackson Acker. And Jackson Acker will get about 6 yards on the play. 2nd and 4 coming up for the Badgers. Here we go, 2nd and 4 for the Badgers from their own 24-yard line. Braden Locke in shotgun. Back at about the 18-yard line. Second and 4. Locke takes a snap, hands it off to his running back. That's Jackson Acker, the 2nd string. And he will go ahead and pick up the first down here for the Badgers. Got to be able to shut down this running game. Let's go. Come on, defense. Cannot let any of these guys get these gaping holes. Can't do it. Got to be better. As he's tackled on the play by Lathan Ransom. Here we go. Braden Locke at the 29. Back in shotgun. Takes a snap. Goes on play action. Rolls to his right. Fires and just throws that into the dirt. Just throws that into the turf, and that will be incomplete. 2nd and 10 coming up here for the Badgers. And Braden Locke just had no idea what to do with that. just decide to go ahead and just throw it to the turf right there, just for an incomplete pass and not risk it for an interception. As Latham Ransom is getting checked out on the sideline here. Might have gotten hit a little bit. We'll see if he comes back into the game or not. But they're not putting the 10 up just yet, which is a good thing. So 2nd and 10 here for the Badgers from their own 29. Locke takes a snap. Locke fires down the right sideline. It is caught for a first down. Denzel Burke, you need to stay on your man. You need to do better than that, Denzel Burke. Let's go. And once again, looks like they used out Jackson Acker, or rather that's Green, number 9 for this Wisconsin defense. Number 9 in Green picks up the first down here for the Badgers. Here we go, from their own 48. Wisconsin looking for some momentum. Locke hands it off to Acker. Acker still trying to run. And he will get, I'd say, about 3 or 4 yards on the play. 2nd and 6 or 7 coming up here for the Badgers. But they march down the field, and they are currently in Ohio State territory. Only a gain of 3 on the play right there by Jackson Acker. They look to continue marching down the field, currently at the Ohio State 49. Braden Locke back in shotgun. Locke goes ahead, gives it off to Alex Acker, or Jackson Acker, I should say. And Jackson Acker going absolutely nowhere, only for a yard. And Ohio State's defense looking to hold yet again and looking to force the Badgers to punt. Can they do it, though? Again, another nice tackle right there by number 93 for this defense of Ohio State. That is Hero Kanu. But here we go, 3rd and 6 from the Ohio State 48. Locke takes a snap. Locke fires down the right side. It is incomplete. And the intended receiver, do believe that is Bell, never even had a chance to get that. But this was one he should have caught easily. But he just bullets it right over to his intended receiver in Bell. But Jordan was there to potentially go ahead and make the tackle. But it is an incomplete pass. And once again, Ohio State forces Wisconsin to punt. Another huge stop by this Buckeyes defense. Another massive stop. And on a 4th and 6, they will go ahead and punt it down. And it'll get down. Bauer's not touching it. They'll let the Badgers touch it, and the Buckeyes will go ahead and start from their own 14-yard line. Ohio State up 17-10. 11:09 left to go in the 4th. Ohio State offense coming up when the commercials finish. Ohio State's defense really, again, they deserve so much credit for what they're doing right now. They're showing why they only allow 10 points a game. They're showing it. They are displaying it in front of your very eyes, ladies and gentlemen. They are displaying it in front of your very eyes right now. They show why they only allow 10 points a game. They've allowed 10 points on the button. Wood says, let's go Buckeyes. MC says the same thing and says, come on Buckeyes, let's go. You guys already know. Buckeyes need to finish the job. Got about 11 more minutes. Offense really needs to put a drive here to put Wisconsin on the brink of losing this game. Defense wins games. The defense has done their job. It's the offense that struggled from the start and then has really started to pick it up. So in this case, it's going to be the offense that goes ahead and wins this game. The offense needed to win this game after the first half. After they struggled in the first half, they picked it up after the first Marvin Harrison Jr. touchdown. They need to keep up the momentum in the fourth quarter. They have to. I understand that defense wins games, but it's not the defense that needs to come out here and step up and go out and win the game. They've been doing their part. Apart from one drive, they've been doing their part in keeping Wisconsin out of the end zone. They've been doing their part. It's about the offense trying to be able to finish it. It's about the offense trying to wrap it up. Can they do it, though? Let's see what Ryan Day has in store for the Buckeyes offense. They changed the play completely. Expect the running play right here. McCord in shotgun, not under center. McCord takes the snap, pitches it out to Henderson with a lot of blockers in front. TreVeyon Henderson finds a hole. Henderson still going. And just across the 40 goes TreVeyon Henderson. What a night for number 32 in his return to the field and his return to the offense. Nice pitch right there on the halfback toss by Kyle McCord with a lot of blockers in front. Stiff arms a man with TreVeyon Henderson. And a great run right there by the RB1 for this Ohio State offense. That's a great play. 122 rushing yards tonight, 45 receiving, 167 overall for TreVeyon Henderson. Great way to return to this offense as McCord again hands it off to Henderson. And Henderson just looking for that positive yardage and will only get a couple on the play, making it a 2nd down and 8 coming up here for Ohio State. Again, running the ball is not going to work every play, though. So Ryan Day, let's get creative here. Let's get creative here when it matters most. Don't just keep running the ball every play with TreVeyon Henderson. They're going to eventually figure that out. Run the ball with TreVeyon Henderson in small bursts. As McCord takes the snap, 2 flags come in. Not sure what it's going to be for. They're going to call a false start on the offense here for Ohio State. I'm not sure who moved. And yes, it is going to be the left tackle, Josh Simmons, moving on this Ohio State offensive line. 24 penalties committed since 2022, which is the most in college football among offensive tackles per PFF. As a junior, he needs to know better than that, though. I get he hasn't had a lot of time to develop, but he's got to be better than that as a junior. McCord fires it down the right side. It is caught by Marvin Harrison Jr., and the St. Joseph's Prep connection continues between the 2 players that went to St. Joseph's Prep in Kyle McCord and Marvin Harrison Jr. It continues after the slow start that they've had, and ever since the slow start that they've had, they have been absolutely unstoppable. 6 receptions for Marvin Harrison Jr., 123 yards, 2 touchdowns. Clock is still ticking down. From the 43-yard line of Wisconsin, McCord hands it off to Henderson. Henderson looking for a burst and just going to get 2 more yards to add to his stat sheet. And another 2nd down and 8 situation coming up here for Ohio State. Ohio State looking to close the door on the Badgers here. 158 rushing yards tonight for Ohio State. 127 is what they are averaging this season so far. What will they do here on 2nd and 7? McCord takes a snap. McCord looking, dancing, has to evade the pocket, and he is going to be sacked. For about a 2-yard loss, the Wisconsin defense is able to get home that time on Kyle McCord. Kyle McCord's not able to run out of that situation. Common McCord just had to find a way to get away. Got away from the first tackler, but did not get away from the second one. So yeah, rough situation right there by Common McCord. But at this point, never count out this Ohio State offense based on what they've done the last couple drives. 3rd down and 8. McCord takes a snap, showing blitz, and he's just going to go ahead and throw it away. They won intentional grounding here. They're conversing. They're talking about it. And a flag is thrown. This is going to be the second. This is going to be the second intentional grounding on Kyle McCord, forcing another punt here from this Wisconsin defense. He wanted to get the ball up, but he did not want another intentional grounding. They were looking for Marvin. He was looking for Marvin Harrison Jr. again. Marvin Harrison Jr. realized that Kyle McCord never had a chance to get that play off. Never had a chance, as Wisconsin was showing blitz right there, making it look easy. Here we go. Jesse Mirko with the punt. And he'll boot it all the way down inside the 10. And that is where Wisconsin will begin their drive. And back out comes the freshman, Braden Locke. With 7:39 left to go, Wisconsin looking to respond to that big stop by their defense. Can they do it, though, and potentially tie the game? We will find out after the commercial break. But yeah, guys, we're going to have to see what this defense does here. This offense for Wisconsin is going to really start to get serious. This defense has been great all game, don't get me wrong. It's just how are they going to be in the final moments of this game? Because Wisconsin is still in it by any means guaranteed. If Ohio State would have managed to score a touchdown, it could have only barely cracked the door open by this much. Because who knows if Wisconsin would have been able to get 2 touchdowns in a limited amount of time against this Ohio State defense based on the way they're playing right now. That could have potentially closed the door if Ohio State would have came away with the touchdown. But no, they leave the door open for Braden Locke, the true freshman, to come in and find a way to potentially pull off a miracle. But with the way that this defense has been playing, I'm not going to doubt in this defense. Jim Knowles, you've coached your butt off in this game. You've done a phenomenal job. The defense has done a phenomenal job in executing. But it's all about how you're going to be able to close. How are you going to be able to finish this game? How are you going to be able to finish this game? You have to find a way to wrap it up. It's time for the defense to make a play. Braden Locke so far last week at Illinois on the final 2 drives, 6 of 12, 84 yards, 2 passing touchdowns. What does he do here against this Ohio State defense that is looking way tougher of a test than what Illinois' defense had to offer? Here we go. 1st and 10 here for the Badgers coming from their own 9-yard line. Locke takes a snap. 2 flags thrown on the play. And what are they going to call here? And they're going to call false start here on Wisconsin. And they're going to call it on number 60 for the offensive line and Huber. That's going to push them back 5 yards to their own 4-yard line, giving Ohio State even better position for their defense to go out and make a play. Wasn't by much, but he did move. Here we go. Takes the snap. And the running back almost gets tripped up. That was once again Jackson Acker. And he almost got tripped up on the play, but he had great balance right there, dodging the tackle from JT Tuimoloau, but almost had a huge loss for about 3 yards, but barely got out of there past that Wisconsin offensive line. 2nd and 9 coming up for this Badgers offense. What will the Badgers do on 2nd and 9? From what was 1st and 14, as they fired out to number 38 for their offense, and the pass is incomplete. So a 3rd down and 9 coming up here for the Badgers. Sonny Styles was able to get in coverage to make the play. Here we go, 3rd down and 9. What is Jim Knowles going to draw up here for this defense? And Lathan Ransom looks like he's going to go to the locker room. So prayers up to Lathan Ransom. Hopefully everything's okay. And hopefully he's back for next week's game. Going to get checked out in the locker room. Most likely he'll probably be out the rest of the game. But on 3rd and 9, Locke firing down the sideline here. And it's going to be broken up, incomplete. And that is going to be Denzel Burke, who has struggled a little bit in that secondary, is able to make a play, get a hand on the intended receiver at number 9, and is able to bat it down with his arm to result in an incomplete pass. And what does Wisconsin do here? You would think they'd be forced to go for it, depending on what Ohio State does, but based on how deep they are in their own territory, they might punt it and hope that their defense is able to make a play, and that's exactly what they're going to do. They're going to pray that their defense makes a play. It's something that they might not have to worry about, but at the same time, they might worry about. 6:45 left to go. Ohio State scores probably anything, but basically, if they score a touchdown, it might shut the door on Wisconsin. It very well can shut the door on the Badgers, because they're going to take their time. TreVeyon Henderson has been electric in the backfield. The receivers have been a lot better than what they were to start out this game, especially Marvin Harrison Jr. with the connection with Kyle McCord. They both have been so much better. TreVeyon Henderson has been electric in this game. Great to have him back in that offense. So I think a touchdown right here by Ohio State can close the door on Wisconsin. And this is a game that I had as a trap game. And Wisconsin certainly did not make it easy on Ohio State at all. They did not make it easy. It might also look like that Braylon Allen might be out for the rest of the game, because he did not come back whatsoever. If they did, they probably just didn't want him to get hurt. If he did come back in for Wisconsin. If he did come back for Wisconsin, then it's just not on the field. Because they're relying on Jackson Acker like crazy right now. Which is why I think that Braylon Allen is potentially out the rest of the game, and so is Lathan Ransom most likely. And prayers up to Lathan Ransom. Also prayers up to Braylon Allen. Hopefully everything's okay with them, and as well as the speedy recovery. Gotta hope that Ohio State's offense is able to make a play and potentially end this game once and for all. Potentially close the door on the Badgers. Again, they potentially score a touchdown right here. They could potentially close the door on Wisconsin. Whether if they score it in the run game or in the pass game. No matter what they do, they could probably close the door with a touchdown. And it probably doesn't matter how they get it, because both the running game and the pass game have been electric for this team. Common Core's stat sheet so far tonight: 17 of 28, 226 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, and a fumble that was lost. Braden Locke, 13 of 26 with 120 yards and a touchdown. Marvin Harrison Jr., 9 of his last 12 games with 100-plus receiving yards and at least a touchdown reception. But here we go. From the Wisconsin 45 is where Ohio State will start. McCord takes a snap. Goes on a jet sweep here with Xavier Johnson. And Xavier Johnson has blockers out in front. And it should be a first down here for the Buckeyes to begin the drive. With a running clock here. Clock is running. If Ohio State loses, what will they fall to? I don't know. But it's not looking like that's going to be the case right now. And if Ohio State gets a touchdown, like I said before, Lucas, they could potentially close the door on Wisconsin. Here we go. 1st and 10. McCord hands it off to Henderson. Henderson only getting about a yard on that play, just getting inside the 35, making this a 2nd down and 9 here for Ohio State. Also, I'd be willing to do a stream with you soon about just an update on the college football season as a whole. I'll think about it though, Lucas. I've been busy with some things, obviously taking some responsibility over here. And also, I'm trying to do as many Sixers games as I possibly can. And with school also being another thing, then at the end of the day, though, with school being another thing, it'll be tough for me to try to do something that's college football related outside of the play-by-plays. As TreVeyon Henderson finds a burst, finds a hole. TreVeyon Henderson, touchdown, Ohio State. TreVeyon Henderson is a grown man. 33 yards for the touchdown for TreVeyon Henderson. Unbelievable. What a run here by number 32. And TreVeyon Henderson just run to the outside. Credit to this offensive line. Great balance by Henderson. And he takes that all the way to the house for the touchdown. Might have closed the door, but with that much time taken off the clock, Wisconsin might have a small chance of getting back in this game. Lucas, not that I know of, my guy. Not that I know of right now. Yeah, I saw the stat sheet. He had, what do you have? 27 points, something like that. His first game, he did phenomenal. Second game, he did just as good. I'm telling you, Kelly Oubre is going to be in conversation for 6th man of the year this year. I can already see it based on what we're seeing out of the first 2 games in the Nick Nurse system. I can already see it. I can already see it going down. Let's go here, Ohio State. Could Oubre be in the conversation for an all-star? For a guy that could potentially be the first bench player to make the all-star game, I think I answered this question before for you, Lucas, but I think he's going to come up a little bit short. The way he's playing right now, though, is all-star caliber numbers. But I'm not sure how long that's going to hold up for. Because when teams start figuring out the Sixers, and especially Kelly Oubre in particular, Kelly Oubre is not going to be putting up that many points a game. But the fact that he is, though, I'm loving it right now. That is our 6th man right there. I want him off the bench, and I want him staying off the bench. I can't believe these Christmas commercials are already on. Yeah. And it's not even Thanksgiving yet. We haven't even approached Thanksgiving. Don't we care about Thanksgiving? But tell me about it, though, Lucas. With these Christmas commercials, it is crazy. But Ohio State, let's go ahead and close the door. Just need one stop from the defense. It's all we are asking for. Just one stop to officially close the door on the Badgers once and for all. It's all we ask for. TreVeyon Henderson, though, has had a really nice game tonight. Welcome back to the Buckeyes, TreVeyon Henderson. My goodness, he has had a monstrous game. Big credit to this offensive line, though, for really helping him out. And here's the last recent play on the touchdown run by TreVeyon Henderson for the touchdown for 6 here for the Buckeyes. Marvin Harrison Jr. and TreVeyon Henderson, 331 yards combined and 3 touchdowns. The rest of the team with 97 yards and no touchdowns. It's incredible. Can't wait for the conference championship games for college football. That will be on the first weekend of December. Facts. Here we go with the kick going all the way down here, and this will be a touchback here for Wisconsin. Ohio State's defense will look to close the door here on the freshman quarterback, Braden Locke, and this Wisconsin Badgers offense. Can they do it, though? Badgers have 5 minutes and 15 seconds left to go. Ohio State's defense, a defense that only allows 10 points a game, looks to shut the door on this Badgers offense. And a stop right here will do it officially. Here we go again. No Braylon Allen in sight. So Alex Acker is the running back still in the backfield. Not Alex. Jackson Acker, I should say. Why do I keep saying Alex? I don't know. But Braden Locke back to pass. Locke looking and in trouble and is sacked. First guy there was Tyleik Williams getting to the freshman. And now this will make it a 2nd down and long here for the Badgers. Tyleik Williams has been able to put on some pressure as of late in these last few games. He's been the first guy there. And Tyleik Williams has been able to make plays all night long and has just been really good all season. But here we go, 2nd and 13 here for the Badgers. Locke takes a snap. Locke gets away from pressure, fires down the middle of the field, incomplete. Looks like it hit the leg of Sonny Styles, or the ankle, I should say. It'll be a 3rd down 13 here for the Badgers. And their chances of winning this game are not looking too pretty. I think the Big Ten Conference Championship game will be Ohio State against Iowa. I mean, we'll see. I mean, we got to go through that team up north, though. We have to go through the team up north. Team up north is really the only team I'm worried about on our schedule. And just in the Big Ten East as a whole, as Locke fires this in the middle of the field, it is caught by number 6 again. That is going to be Willing, I think. Whoever number 6 is for Wisconsin, but I do believe that is their guy. Here we go. Clock is still winding down. At the 38-yard line in their own territory are the Badgers. Locke takes a snap, fires on the left side, and is incomplete. Number 7, Jordan, was almost able to get a hand in there. If not that, he did get a hand in there to break up the play. But Davison Igbinison should have been there. If it is not for Jordan coming in to make the diving play, that is a catch and a good amount of yardage right there against Davison Igbinison. Here we go, 2nd and 10. Locke takes a snap. Locke looking, fires down to the running back, Jackson Acker. And Acker going to get a good amount of those yards back, and it'll be a 3rd down and short here for the Badgers. Clock is winding down like crazy. 3rd down and 4. What will happen here for the Badgers? At their own 44-yard line. Locke takes a snap. Locke fires. It's caught by Acker, and Acker gets the 1st down. And will get out of bounds that time with 3:35 left to go. And the clock is still winding down. Clock only stops in the 4th quarter with 2 minutes left to play. 1st and 10 here for the Badgers. Looking to stay in this game by a threshold. Currently at midfield right now. Locke takes a snap. Locke fires down the left side. It is incomplete. Sonny Styles is able to make the play here for this defense, resulting in an incomplete pass. 3:14 left to go here in this one. 2nd and 10 coming up here for Wisconsin. Also, I know this sounds like a crazy request, but it would be funny, a funny game to do. Could you live stream Temple versus Bloomsburg basketball on December 8th? I'll see what I can do. Here we go again from midfield. Locke trying to get away, gets away from pressure. Locke fires down the right side. It is incomplete. Denzel Birkin covers that time. And with 3:08 to go, it's a 3rd down and 10 situation here for Wisconsin. And Wisconsin having to pick up the first here to just stay in the game by, again, a threshold. But Denzel Burke was the corner right there on the intended receiver. This defense has been really good all night long. Can they keep it up, though, with 3:08 left to go here in the 4th? Locke takes a snap. Locke dancing, fires in the middle of the field. It's broken up, incomplete. Number 6 able to make the play that time here for this defense of Ohio State. Was that Sonny Styles? I do believe it was Sonny Styles making the play. But here we go, 4th and 10. Basically the game right here. Ohio State can close the door on Wisconsin. A timeout will be called, I think, by Ohio State. But Ohio State can go ahead and close the door on Wisconsin here if they get this stop. This defense has played their tails off all game long. Washington barely stuck out the win against Stanford. That's crazy. They have Michael Penix over there, too, who is a Heisman candidate right now. Sure, it was because of the defense that was the reason they barely came out with the win and almost lost that game. Here we go, 4th and 10, the potential game right here on the line. At midfield, Braden Locke takes the snap. Locke looking for somebody to get open. Fires down the middle of the field, and it's incomplete. Sonny Styles getting his hands in there, and with 2:55 to go, that is going to pretty much seal the deal. Jack Sawyer did get the pressure, though, on Braden Locke to maybe hit his arm a little bit, but this defense overall has played phenomenal all game long. This defense able to get pressure, keep Wisconsin out of the end zone. They have done a phenomenal job. See Latham Ransom making the play on the blitz. This defense has really played some phenomenal football, has made some phenomenal plays tonight. They show you why they have allowed 10 points a game, only allowed 89 rushing yards, 148 passing yards, and 237 total yards of offense from Wisconsin. 1st and 10 here for the Buckeyes. McCord hands it off to Trey Anum, and Trey Anum getting about a yard on the play, and they're looking to just wind this clock down. Ohio State looking to just wind this clock down. I'm surprised Wisconsin's not taking any of their timeouts right now. But with them being down 2 scores, it makes a little bit of sense, though. Here we go. Getting up at about the 48 of Wisconsin. McCord takes a snap. Hands it. Actually goes on HB toss to Chip Trey Anum, and Trey Anum getting about 1 or 2 yards on the play, making it either a 3rd down and 7 or 6 here for the Buckeyes, as again they're continuing to just try and run out this clock. Washington is only winning 42-33 with 1 minute and 30 seconds left. And last week, Washington only beat Arizona State 15-7. Washington are frauds. And who knows where they're gonna end up in the top 25 after this game. First down officially ends it. Can Ohio State pick it up? 2:07 left to play. And McCourt takes a snap, hands it off to Trey Anum, and they're just going to keep running out the clock. So Wisconsin did take their first timeout on the previous play on second down for the third down. Now they're taking their second timeout after getting the stop on third down to make it a fourth down here for the Buckeyes. More than 7, and Ryan Day's going to go ahead and potentially take his guys off the field. And the defense potentially going out one last time. With about 2 minutes left to go. Jesse Mirko with the punt. Putting it all the way down at about the 11-yard line. Picked up by number 86 here for Wisconsin. It looks like Ohio State is going to beat Wisconsin. Wisconsin will go ahead and just finish this up here with their offense on the field. Braden Locke stepping on here one last time with 1:58 left to go. One last drive here from the Badgers. And this should do it. Appreciate the 6 people in the chat, guys. I appreciate you guys for sticking through. Hit the like button on your way out and hit the subscribe button if you guys are new to the channel. I appreciate it. Here we go. 1st and 10. Braden Locke back to pass. Fires in the middle of the field. It is caught, and it's a first down here for Wisconsin. Caught by Anthony the second. They have not went ahead and kept the clock running. Now they do. Locke back to pass. Takes a snap. Fires down the right side, and it's incomplete. That's going to be number 7, Jordan, making the play again here for Ohio State. Again, guys, not saying his last name because then we're going to need a pause. Here we go. From their own 26. Locke takes a snap. Fires, and it's going to be batted down. Actually, no. Braden Locke actually was able to keep it. But it does not matter. It's going to be a loss on the play. I think he tried to throw it and then ended up catching his own pass. That's exactly what he did. 3rd down and 11 here for the Badgers. From their own 25. Lock and shotgun, takes a snap. Fires down the left side. It's going to be caught by Jackson Acker. He's going to get out of bounds, only getting a couple yards on the play. 4th down here coming up for the Badgers. Under a minute and a half to play. After this one, if Wisconsin doesn't get it, Ohio State can potentially just kneel it. Here we go, 4th and 9. Locke, dancing, fires now, and it's going to be almost intercepted by Josh Proctor. But either way, it's incomplete. And Ohio State is going to officially go ahead and beat the Wisconsin Badgers. With 1:23 left to go. Take a few kneel downs. And this game is pretty much over, ladies and gentlemen. Ohio State has gone into Madison and has officially went ahead and beaten the Wisconsin Badgers, looking like by a final score of 24-10. As Ohio State will go ahead and get in victory formation. Let's go ahead and take the knee. And Ohio State's going to win it over Wisconsin. 24-10. Totally forgot to change the score here. This is basically going to be the final score on that note. There's your potential final score, ladies and gentlemen. That's going to be the final score of this game. And Ohio State officially beats Wisconsin 24-10 in Madison. And they will remain undefeated, going 8-0 on the year, and Wisconsin will fall to 5-3. What a game for this defense. What a way for this offense to go ahead and step up when it matters most. And overall, team win right there. That's how we play. Play as a team, and we win as a team. That's what we're talking about. Guys, go ahead and just enjoy some of the music real quick. I'll be right back, and we'll go over the final stats, and then we're going to get out of here. All right, guys, I am officially back now with, hopefully the stat sheet will come up real quick. But ladies and gents, obviously we know that the Ohio State Buckeyes went ahead and won today, but on a side note, though, the Philadelphia 76ers also went ahead and beat the Toronto Raptors earlier today as well. So ladies and gents, you know what? I don't care if this is a college football stream. I do not care whatsoever. I do not care if this is a college football stream whatsoever up to this point. Ladies and gents, you know what we're doing. It's been a long time since you heard it. Still a great beat, though. Go ahead and do it. Play the song. And you know what, ladies and gents? You know what? Because both the Ohio State Buckeyes and the Philadelphia 76ers both won today, you guys know what we got to do. We got to go ahead and run that back. So you know what? We're going to go run that back. And you know what? Let's do it. Let's go, guys. Good win over the Badgers today. A great win right there. That's how you do it. That is how you do it right there, ladies and gentlemen. Ohio State getting the win over Wisconsin. That's how you do it right there. And ladies and gents, I forgot to go ahead and do it earlier. But again, while the stat sheet hopefully loads in here, as of right now, it's not looking like it's going to. I don't know what the problem is here. Fear is very slow right now that I'm using in terms of trying to go ahead and get the stat sheet up. But ladies and gents, before hopefully we go ahead and get the stat sheet up here, not sure if we are going to. Not sure if we're going to be able to get the stat sheet up. To go over the final stats. Not sure if we're going to be able to get the stat sheet up or not. Because apparently the computer that I'm using over here, it died on me, so it took away all my data that I had up. And now it's not responding. So we might have to go without going after the final stats for this game. But ladies and gents, before we go ahead and get out of here, forgot to do this earlier, but want to go ahead and give a shout out to the newest sponsor of the channel in 10-Pin Toolkit.
Shout out to the newest sponsor of the channel, 10-Pin Toolkit. If you out there have ever thought about either trying a new sport like bowling, want to learn about the history of bowling, or look to improve your game, then 10-Pin Toolkit is for you. 10-Pin Toolkit has so many tools to help you, such as angles and targeting, ball speed and RPM, an online score calculator, and so much more to help take your game to the next level. Ever since I started using 10-Pin Toolkit, it has taken my bowling game to new heights and has helped me tremendously in becoming a much improved bowler than what I was when I was just getting started to becoming the bowler that I am today. It is currently rated as tied for the #1 best bowling app in the world as of today. It is a great resource to be used for coaching and will help take the talent of bowlers to new places that they have never experienced before. So if you are interested in starting a bowling career, want to learn about the history of bowling, or just look to improve your game, go download 10-Pin Toolkit on either the App Store or the Google Play Store, or click the link down below in the description to download it and get ready to have an experience in bowling like you have never seen before.
So yeah, guys, once again, be sure to go ahead and download the newest sponsor of the channel in 10-Pin Toolkit. And ladies and gents, it's actually looking like we're going to be able to get the final stats up here. So just give me a second as it finally went ahead and wanted the attention. And finally got the attention it deserved for once. But thank goodness it did, because I really wanted to go over the final stats after this game. After the slow start that Ohio State had from the beginning, they really went ahead and picked up their ground, and they really found a way to get back in the game. And you know what? They actually found a way to win the game. So really happy that Ohio State was able to make that happen. And overall, this is a great team win. This is a great team win here by Ohio State. But here we go, ladies and gents. We're actually going to be able to go over the final stats here, and then we're going to get out of here. So starting out on the Ohio State side of things here, Kyle McCord in the passing game went ahead and was able to finish his night going 17 of 26 for 226 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. He'll have to clean up those interceptions, though. But overall, it was still a solid game from Kyle McCord despite those 2 interceptions. You take those 2 interceptions away, and he actually has a really good game, honestly. But overall, it was just a pretty solid night from Kyle McCord outside of those 2 interceptions. Now, in terms of running the ball, Travion Henderson on the night, who came back from injury, went ahead and ran the ball 24 times for Ohio State for 162 yards, averaging 6.8 yards a carry, as well as a rushing touchdown for Travion Henderson. Following it up is Xavier Johnson with 4 carries for 29 yards, averaging 7.2 yards a carry. And then Chip Trayanum with 6 carries for 13 yards, averaging 2.2 yards a carry. And then Kyle McCord with 7 carries for negative 20 yards, averaging negative 2.9 yards a carry. Again, Kyle McCord really not known to be a mobile QB, but he always tries to show that athleticism, and you know what? I respect the effort that he's trying to show out on the field. Now, in terms of the receiving group, Marvin Harrison Jr. leading the way for the Ohio State receivers with 6 receptions for 123 yards, averaging 20.5 yards per reception, as well as 2 touchdowns. TreVeyon Henderson put in some work in the receiving game, finishing his night with 4 receptions for 45 yards, averaging 11.2 yards a carry, or rather 11.2 yards per reception, I should say. Julian Fleming followed up with 2 receptions for 19 yards, averaging 9.5 yards per reception. G. Scott following up with 2 receptions for 18 yards, averaging 9 yards per reception. Carnell Tate with a reception for 14 yards. And then Chip Trayanum also putting in some work in the receiving game with 2 receptions for 7 yards, averaging 3.5 yards per reception. And again, it does not show the stats for the defensive players, so we're just going straight over to special teams. In terms of punt returns, because apparently there were no kick returns, at least it doesn't show any kick returns from this game. Jaden Ballard on punt returns had 1 return go for 6 yards. In terms of the kicking, hold up. I'm going to try to refresh this, see if it shows something. See if it shows something different here. Turns out it does not show anything different. So unfortunately, that's just unfortunate overall as a whole. But Jaden Fielding finishing his night going 1 of 1 in terms of his field goal, which came from 27 yards out. He was perfect tonight and also had 6 points in total with 3 extra points in this game. Following that up was Jesse Mirko for the punting aspect of Ohio State's side with 4 punts on the night for 151 yards, averaging 37.8 yards per punt. However, none of those punts went ahead and went inside the 20, and that is how the player stats for Ohio State come to a close. Now over to the Wisconsin Badgers side. Braden Locke, in terms of the passing game, had an okay game, finishing his night 18 for 39 for 165 yards, as well as a touchdown and no interceptions. Braylon Allen, who went out of the game early, finishes his night with 10 carries for 50 yards, averaging 5 yards a carry. Jackson Acker follows it up with 9 carries for 34 yards, averaging 3.8 yards a carry. Braden Locke follows it up with 5 carries for 14 yards, averaging 2.8 yards a carry. Katie Yacamelli with a carry for -4 yards. In terms of the receiving group, Will Pauling leads the way for the receiving group of Wisconsin with 4 receptions for 51 yards, averaging 12.8 yards per reception and a touchdown. Bryson Green with 2 receptions for 46 yards, averaging 23 yards per reception. Skylar Bell with 4 receptions for 26 yards, averaging 6.5 yards per reception. Jackson Acker putting in some work for the receiving game with 5 receptions for 20 yards, averaging 4 yards per reception. Vinny Anthony II with a reception for 15 yards, and C.J. Williams with a reception for 7 yards, and Braylon Allen with a reception for no yards to end up the stats for the Wisconsin Badgers receiving game. Now in terms of kick returns here, apparently it did not show anything for Ohio State. So for kick returns for Wisconsin, Shamiri Dyke with a return for 25 yards on kick returns. For punt returns, it was the same guy, Shamiri Dyke, with a return for 35 yards. For kicking, Nathaniel Vakos going 1 of 2, 50% on his field goals. Longest came from 19 yards out for a 19-yard chip shot with a total of 4 points. And then as for the punting unit, Atticus Bertrams with 6 punts on the night for a combined total of 229 yards, averaging 38.2 yards per punt, and none of the punts that he had went inside the 20 to end out the player stats for the Wisconsin Badgers. Now over to the team stats now. In terms of total yards, Ohio State had 407 total yards to Wisconsin's 259. In terms of passing yards, Ohio State had 256 to Wisconsin's 165. In terms of rushing yards, Ohio State had 181 to Wisconsin's 94. Yards per play, Ohio State with 5.9 to Wisconsin's 4. In terms of first downs, Ohio State with 23 to Wisconsin's 15. Third down efficiency, Ohio State was 6 of 13 to Wisconsin's 6 of 16. In terms of fourth down efficiency, Ohio State was 0 for 1 and Wisconsin was 0 for 2. In terms of total plays, Ohio State with 69, Wisconsin with 64. In terms of punts, Wisconsin with 6 and Ohio State with 4. In terms of penalties, Ohio State with 6 penalties for 25 yards to Wisconsin's 5 penalties for 27 yards. Each team had a fumble lost in this game. Again, 2 receptions thrown by Kyle McCord in this game as well. And then time of possession, Ohio State holds onto the ball for 35 minutes and 51 seconds to Wisconsin's time of possession of 24 minutes and 9 seconds. And that is officially how the final stats come to a close. Ladies and gentlemen, Ohio State wins it over the Wisconsin Badgers 24-10. Great game by the defense. Kyle McCord, way to adjust in this game. And way to come out with the win here over the Wisconsin Badgers. This is a great team win right there. That's a great team win. Next game for Ohio State comes next Saturday against Rutgers on Saturday, November 4th at 12 o'clock. I will more than likely not be able to stream that game because that's some time for me to just have some time with family that I only get to see once a week. So that's just something I'll be doing. But I'll be able to watch the Ohio State game, though. Hopefully they come out on top over Rutgers. Fingers crossed they do, which they should. But at the end of the day, Ohio State with a big win, moving on to 8-0. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are an Ohio State fan, enjoy the win this week, but get ready for next week against Rutgers. And ladies and gents, on that note, that is pretty much going to go ahead and do it for me. Be sure to like and subscribe if you guys have not done so. And I'll talk to you guys on the next one. Peace, everybody. Have a good night, y'all. God bless and peace, and let's go Bucks.